everyone, welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. So today we have another future spouse reading, but we're going to be finding out where and how, what are the circumstances around you meeting your future spouse, as well as some additional clues, little hints about who this person may be. So we have 6 groups to choose from today. For pile 1, we have the little purple kitty cat paper clip. For pile 2, we have the hot pink. For pile 3, we have the gold. For pile 4, we have the silver kitty cat. For pile 5, we have the black kitty cat. And for pile 6, we have the green kitty cat. So like always, the timestamps are listed below in the description box. And if you feel called to more than one group, feel free to pick more than one group. I mean, the universe may be lining up multiple opportunities, multiple ways for how you can meet this person. So I say feel free to pick more than one pile if you feel drawn to. We'll also figure out some months, some times of the year, not necessarily this year, but some months where this meeting could happen. And yeah, so I think that's everything. Let's get into it. All right, on my pile 1s who chose the purple kitty cat, welcome to your reading. So I'm not going to keep you in suspense. We're going to figure out what these are, and then we will go ahead and pull your tarot, your oracle, and we'll get some personality traits or like possible careers, love languages, physical traits of your future spouse at the end of the video. Okay. So we have past history, not necessarily romantic. So maybe you have already met this person. This could be talking about a past life connection as well, but this could be like a former coworker, a friend of a friend, a family friend, old like classmate, schoolmate, just some sort of past history that you share. Okay, mutual friends. Okay, a friend of a friend could be a possibility. Now, not all of these are going to be true, right? This is a general reading, but if you feel like mutual friends is really calling out to you, then you can claim that message. Okay, you could be set up by loved ones, a blind date. So maybe you've heard of this person before in passing, like maybe you've heard of their name, but you haven't actually like met them yet, or maybe you've had brief interactions, but you've never like held a conversation with them, something like that. Okay, family, friend, gathering, party. So think barbecue, reunions, even a high school reunion. Okay, so you could be meeting them also at like in a group setting. Or like I said, you already know them, but this is where you guys really end up connecting, or it's like a formal blind date. And we have relative of one of your friends or roommate. This is reminding me of like the best friend's older brother like love trope that they have in like some, you know, like especially I feel like YA romance novels. I think in the Princess Diaries, they had that trope where she was in love with her best friend's older brother, but maybe something like that for a few of you. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So let's get into your tarot and your oracle and just find out some more information about this meeting. So actually this is kind of taking up a lot of space, so I'm gonna close these up. But if you wanna pause the video and like write these down, or if you, like I said, felt called to a certain message, maybe you wanna remember it for later or take a snapshot with your phone, whatever device you're like watching this on. Okay, so pile 1. Please, Spirit, can we get some more details about this meeting, the circumstances around pile 1 and their future spouse meeting, please, Spirit? And a big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. Some more information about the circumstances of this meeting, please, Spirit. Okay. Sorry, there's like, there's a fire station that's pretty close to my house. And so I think you guys may hear some alarms in the background. Okay, pile 1, future spouse, circumstances around this meeting. Pile 1. Okay, we have sea kitten. Just looking at this makes me feel like you guys will have a very playful interaction with one another. Maybe you've already flirted with this person if you do know them, but there's definitely like a playful, flirtatious energy coming through like right away with that card. Okay, let's find out some more information. So we've got the Six of Sky. So in this deck, like the Sea Kitten is the Page of Cups, the Six of Sky is the Six of Swords. The sky corresponds to air. I'm pretty sure you guys figured that out, but oh wow, Two of Swords. Let's get maybe 2 or 3 more cards. Aww, I love the Star card. Okay. I feel like just with how this deck is and just how I'm feeling like with shuffling and that sort of energy that's around me right now, I feel like this may start off as a friendship. I'll get into the Six of Sky in a second, but just with how the deck is behaving and how just my sort of energy even in shuffling, because sometimes I feel more frantic when I shuffle, but I feel very sort of at ease with this. Yeah, I feel like this may develop over time. Okay, I got one more than what I had planned on, but that is most certainly okay. Actually, I really like how that lays out. Okay. So we have the 5C here. The 5 of C here. We have the 5 of C here. I actually want to focus on this card for a second because you see all the little fish and how she's stepping out, and she's pretty irked at being wet like this, and all the little fish are kind of just like, some are looking on, some are just swimming around, minding their own business, but she's quite irritated. I kind of feel like for some of you, when you first meet your future spouse, like when you first have like a real interaction with them, especially given that we have the Six of Sky over here, and even here she's coming out of the water, and then we have the Two of Sky here and the Chariot, so there's a lot of movement. I feel like there may be kind of like a chaotic scene, like there's a lot of people around you, a lot of hustling and bustling, and I'm kind of seeing like maybe you're at like a family dinner, maybe you're at like a family barbecue. I'm getting like kind of summer vibes for this because it just feels very warm. Like this is making me think of the sun, I don't know, and just the water and the air. I don't know, it just feels like summer. It just feels like summer. But maybe you're at a family barbecue and someone has just spilled lemonade all over your shirt and you're irked. There's something like that. Like there's something, and it can, you know, that's pretty a literal interpretation of this card, but I feel like there's just something that has irritated you, because this card, the 5 of Cups or the 5 of C typically talks about a disappointment, but the way it's depicted here, it just looks more like irritation. And so I feel like there's something going on. Maybe you're just more introverted, so you're not into like the whole chaos of like a big get together, or maybe you're at like your friend's family's house, so you don't feel super comfortable, and there's just some feeling here of irritation, not towards your future spouse, but towards your environment. Like there's just something about your environment that is not making you feel pleased when you are around your future spouse. And I feel like your future spouse is looking on and thinking like, you look kind of cute, like you look cute when you're mad kind of thing. And with the 6 of Sky here, it's sort of giving me the impression that they're gonna pull you aside, like they're gonna take you out of this chaos and they're gonna pull you aside and they're like, I got you, like let's go somewhere quiet, let me help you clean this lemonade off of you or something. Yeah, there's just something about them like kind of swooping in and saving you from like, maybe you got stuck in a conversation with someone that you really didn't want to talk to. Like everyone has that family member that just, you know, like gets under your skin. Maybe you weren't in the mood for it that day. They were bothering you about something, and or maybe you're around, you know, your friend's boyfriend and they were getting on your nerves, something like that. But they just kind of pull you away from like an awkward social interaction, or, you know, they just offer assistance in some way. And there's this feeling of gratitude that is coming through with the Star card. It's like, kind of just like they swooped in like this lion, like you were wishing that someone would come and save you, and like they do in that like perfect moment. They just kind of swoop in and they take over, they take charge of whatever chaos is happening around you that is stressing you out. And it's very sweet. And I think that they probably tease you a little bit about it. That's where this playfulness was coming through. They're like, you're not having a great day, are you? And so it's like a little wish come true that they kind of swoop in like that. And I feel too, there's a little bit of uncertainty here. Like, you're grateful that they pulled you out of the middle of all this chaos, whatever that is. It's a general reading, so like whatever is going on in your environment is gonna vary, but maybe there's an argument between two other people and it's just got your nerves frazzled, something. But even still, because I think maybe you're a bit guarded. And I say that because I kind of feel like they are the sea kitten, and I kind of feel like maybe you're the sky kitten. Now, sometimes when I'm reading this, the energies do get flipped. So if what I'm saying isn't really resonating with you and you're like, no, I'm totally that sea kitten, I'm totally playful and fun and lighthearted, then you can just flip everything that I'm saying, and maybe it's you that's rescuing them. But yeah, so one of you is coming across with this water energy. Also, honestly, with the way this is depicted, just with the beach, there's something here that makes me think of also fire sign, but particularly Leo. So there's a little bit of Leo energy here. I think maybe because I also see the sun here for some reason, and the lion here. Yeah, there's a little bit here of Leo. That's also why I think they're the one who swoops in, because of the lion here. Like, oh, I wished upon a star for someone to come in and save me, and they did. Because Leos are really good at managing social settings, like, you know what I mean, like they thrive in a social setting. Like even the quiet Leos kind of have this sense of self-assurance about them, unless they're really debilitated in their sign. They have a lot of inner work to do. Sorry, there's like a clicking noise. I think it's the fan. I hope you guys can't hear that. But yeah, so I think that this is your future spouse. I think your future spouse is coming across in this Leo energy, but I also think that they're very nurturing and caring, and so there's also a water element there of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And then I think you are coming across as this sky kitten, so that would be Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. You don't have to be, but that's just the energy that I'm picking up, okay? Okay. So, like I said, I feel like you, as the sky kitten, are a little bit more guarded. You kind of see how the sky kitten is leaping forward with the claws out. Like, I do feel like in an argument, like, you can hold your own. And so, like, maybe you did get into, like, a little bit of a verbal altercation with somebody. You were fussing with somebody, and they were, like, swooping in and, like, nah, I got you. Like, let's just disconnect and detach from this argument. But I feel like there's still some uncertainty here with the moon and the two of sky, the two of swords. Like, you're not quite sure what to make of your future spouse at first. You're like grateful that they took you away from this, but at the same time you're like, all right, now I got to talk to this person. You know? Because I feel like you're just feeling so overwhelmed and frazzled and stressed. And they're being a bit playful with you. They think it's kind of cute. And I think part of you is also irritated that they think it's cute that you're mad. But also, you're grateful to them. So I feel like you're just going through a whole mix of emotions throughout all of this. And yeah, I think you're also curious. Like, you see how the kitten here is, or the cat, is kind of pouncing, you know, getting ready to pounce, and their eyes are like saucers and they're sort of reflecting the light of the moon. And yeah, I just feel like there's something here that intrigues you. Like, this person is very interesting to you. Their energy is drawing you in. You're not quite sure what to make of it. I think that, especially with air signs, there's kind of this feeling of, because you're so much in your head, like, I'm gonna suss you out, you know, like, I'm gonna withhold my judgment. I'm gonna be a bit reserved, maybe not quite guarded, but a bit of that, though. It's gonna kind of vary for those of you who are watching. Like, some of you are like, oh yeah, I'm totally guarded. I'm totally in that, like, Queen of Swords, King of Swords energy. I'm totally guarded. I'm like fully in that energy. Others of you just have really strong boundaries, and yeah, I feel like there's just this kind of idea of, I don't know quite what to make of you, but I am grateful to you and I'm feeling your energy a little bit. Now with the Chariot, I think again with that Six of Sky, this is literally them pulling you out of this situation, taking control of the situation, and it may be even as far as like, let's get out of here, like, let's go. And maybe that is also why you're like intrigued, but also a little bit hesitant. But they are like, you do have like mutual friends or family members, not family members in common, but you may know each other through one of your family members or one of your friends. No incest here. But, so you do feel a bit safe with this person. Like, you're like, okay, like, other people in my circle can vouch for them. It would be safe for me to go to coffee or dinner with them and get out of this place. So there may be some sort of like actual physical movement from your location, or it could just be as simple as like, let's go to the backyard and talk, you know, like, let's go outside and get some fresh air, and, you know, we'll sit on the porch or something. But there is some sort of movement. There is definitely two cards here talking about them physically taking you out of whatever is going on in that fight, whatever is irritating to you. Okay? I feel like I've gone on and on about that. I'm pretty sure you guys get what I'm saying. All right, let's get some more information, some more astrological zodiac information about the circumstances of the first time you really meet and talk to your future spouse. Please, Spirit. And your future spouse's higher self is also welcome to come through. All right, let's see. Pile one. Whoa. Oh my gosh. I'm not taking these. I'm just taking this one because it flipped over. But the sun. Leo. Leo, Leo, Leo. I said it. Okay, I do feel like either you or your future spouse has a significant Leo placement. So that maybe that's their Venus or their Mars, given that this is a love reading. I do think it's likely that it's their sun sign, because we also had the sun come out. For those of you who don't know anything about astrology, Leo rules the sun. And also Leo rules the heart, or is connected to the heart. So again, like, that's what people say about Leos. They're generous, they're very sociable, they're kind-hearted, they're brave, they're ruled by their heart, and they wear their heart on their sleeve. Yeah, it can vary depending on their moon sign, of course, and it could be a Leo moon. We did have the moon here. But yeah, I do feel like, or at least a Leo rising, but someone here has some significant Leo placements. Okay, let's get some more information from my pile ones. The 10th house of reputation. This makes a lot of sense to me, actually. So this is, sorry. This is also Capricorn energy, but I feel like could be that you meet this person through, maybe you're friends with people through your work, and so you guys are actually, maybe you're co-workers, or maybe I don't think necessarily that you're co-workers, but maybe you're good friends with one of your co-workers, and this is like their family member or their best friend. You know what I mean? There's some, you know how that, you know, there's not that many degrees of separation between you guys, if you know what I mean. Like, there's not that many mutual connections separating you guys. Like, you have some significant people in your life that know this person. It may just be one person in your life, but someone knows your future spouse. Someone in your circle, whether it's through work, through family, through friends, someone knows this person. but maybe work, since we had the 10th house. I also think just because it's saying reputation here, like really called out to me, I think it kind of goes back to there's a lot of people around. There's some sort of social gathering when you come into connection with this person. Like, even if it's a blind date, it's like they pick you up at your sister's house. I don't know, like there's just something there about other people being around and other people watching and having opinions about you two talking. Even if it's the next day, like the person who set you up, or like if they are like, you know, your coworker's brother, they're like, well, how'd the date go? What did you guys talk about? You know, it's that kind of thing. Like, people want to know. People are gossiping about you guys. That's the kind of the vibe. 8th house, intimacy. So we have Scorpio energy coming through. So a lot of passion here. A lot of passion. And I think too, remember how we said with the moon, there was this sense of mystery and like you were intrigued? I do think this person, like, you're trying to figure them out and they're trying to figure you out, because I think it's a little bit not quite opposites attract, but there's something about you guys are different enough to where you're really just kind of like you both just want to solve each other. Like, you're both very curious about the other person. Yeah, because I think there's this energy of, I'm trying to work out what your intentions are, what your motivations are, if I can trust you. But also in a lighter sense, I want to know everything about you. Like, you just seem so interesting. You're so engaging. Like, you guys have really quality conversations together. I feel like you kind of draw each other in, and it's like you can't, there's so much going on around, but I'm only focused on you now. Like, now that you've come into my periphery, I can't see anything else. There's just something about your energy that is really captivating. Because the 8th house too, to me, can sometimes talk about the subconscious a little bit, because it's what's hidden and what's sort of waiting to be uncovered. So I feel like you couldn't even maybe quite articulate why this person has captured your energy, or captured your attention, I'm sorry, in the way that they have, but there's just something about, like, magnets being drawn together. There's just something there that you can't quite let go of. And that's why I said too, like, maybe you've seen them before in passing. Like, maybe they dropped off lunch for your coworker and so you saw them, or, you know, like maybe you've been in social gatherings before and you saw them because you have these mutual connections, or at least one significant mutual connection. But you saw them across the room, but you didn't go up to them, or they didn't go up to you, but you were looking at each other, you know? And so this right here, this meeting is the first time where you really talk to each other. But again, there's just something about them that's so engaging. Bottom of the deck here, you have Saturn, so Capricorn twice now. Yeah, definitely could be possibly work related. Otherwise though, you guys are both really, really hardworking, really self-disciplined. And maybe that's something you bond over. Like, maybe you guys are both really into your work, or you have some sort of creative passion that you're, like a passion project that you're really into. So there's something there. I'm actually going to pull, let's see if we can find out what your future spouse does for their job. What do they do for their job, please, Spirit? Can we get a little hint here about what they maybe do for work? Now, obviously, not all of you watching are going to have a future spouse who does the exact same job. So I'm going to pull a couple of options and we'll just see. And honestly, if none of the cards call out to you, then it's probably not your message. And that's okay. Not every single card is going to, you know, like scream at you, and that's all right. All right, pile one. What are some career placements? I don't know. For pile one's future spouse, please, Spirit. Infinite abundance. Okay, whatever they do, they make a lot of money. That's good. I wouldn't be surprised though. Like, Capricorn energy and Leos are, both of those are to me hustlers, like very hardworking. Okay, we got spiritual teacher. So something in relation to that. Let go. I kind of wonder if they've had maybe a major career change in their life. Yeah, talk to your angels came out as well. Yeah, maybe they kind of, this kind of makes me feel like maybe initially they were doing something that they weren't passionate about. And so maybe it's not as specific as like they're into tarot and this kind of thing. It could just be that they sought guidance, maybe they prayed on it, or sorry about that, guys. Maybe they prayed on it, or maybe they just sought advice from someone that they really trust in their life. Yeah, maybe they just had to talk it out with someone and they ended up changing their job. And now they actually make even more money than they did before. And I think it's because it's kind of this message of they would be great at anything they chose to do. Yeah, maybe they had to go back to school. Maybe they had to go back to school. Okay, I'm going to get one more card. Okay, yeah, counseling. So maybe they're a counselor. Bottom of the deck, you had leadership. So yeah, that's not surprising. If they're wealthy and they're doing well in life financially, especially Leo and Capricorn, again, I think a boss energy. Yeah, they're doing well in life. So maybe they went back to school to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, a counselor, someone in the mental health field. Maybe they did that. I mean, both of these energies, honestly, I mean, spiritual teachers also give counsel. So there's something here about them giving really good advice. And again, remember how I said they know how to manage social situations really well? I feel like they really get people. Scorpio also makes me think of psychology. So yeah, they definitely could work in the field, in the mental health field in some capacity. I feel like they have a deep understanding of people though and what makes them tick. And maybe because they understand people so well, maybe you kind of feel like they're reading you like a book, and maybe that unsettles you a little bit. And so you're like, okay, I'm gonna figure you out because I feel like you know me too well already. Maybe that's kind of the energy. Yeah, I like this pile. I like this dynamic. Okay. Now, these are more specific messages, and they may not resonate for all of you, but I kind of thought this would be an interesting deck to use for this reading. So, pile 1, please, Spirit, can we get some clues about maybe some objects that are going to be around at the time that pile 1 and their future spouse interact for the first time? And I'm saying that very specifically for you guys because I think maybe you've seen each other, but I want to get at like your first real interaction with one another. Or maybe you just, again, maybe you've heard their name in passing, something like that. Because they're on the periphery right now. That's how I feel. For some of you, you're like, oh no, I know exactly who you're talking about. So it's gonna vary. Okay, could be at someone's house. That's a pretty clear message. With Cauldron, I usually interpret this card as law of attraction, but for you all in this reading, it kind of comes off to me as like you're at someone's house and someone is cooking. There's some sort of meal. Okay, and then we've got snail. Remember how I said in the very, very beginning I thought this was going to unfold kind of slowly and develop over time? Yeah, that's what I'm picking up with snail. Let's get... Actually, no, I'm feeling like that's enough. Yeah, I'm feeling like that's good. Okay, let's see. Let's do... I don't want this deck. I'm sorry. You guys are pile 1, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly what flow I want to do for this reading. Okay, let's get months of the year for when this could happen. So months of the year for when this first real interaction between pile 1 and their future spouse could happen. Pile 1. Whoa. Okay, remember I said summer, so we've got July, we've got January, So maybe like a New Year's Eve party could also be a possibility. And we've got October. Oh wow, so that's like 3 seasons. Okay. And then you also, bottom of the deck, got September. So if any of these months in particular are calling out to you, then you can claim, you know, whichever message you want to. Or it could be that these are all opportunities, you know, like if you guys have a mutual connection, you know, in common, you probably have multiple opportunities to interact with this person. Okay, let's do this back to see if we can find out some more clues about who this person is. Who is pile 1's future spouse, please, Spirit? Pile 1's future spouse. Pile 1's future spouse. Pile 1's future spouse. Okay. I have to make sure I actually read all of these. I was leaving some behind in my last reading. Okay, so they're very spontaneous. Okay, that's that fire sign energy. They have lots of friends. Well, okay. Again, maybe you guys have a mutual friend in common. They're very clean, very neat. They're athletic. They're the same age as you or close in age. And again, these are more specific messages. So anything I'm saying that doesn't like strike a chord with you, just leave it. They're very empathetic. Love that. Especially too if they work in the counseling field or mental health field. Yeah, that's a necessity, right? To be compassionate. Okay, their love language is acts of service. And they do swoop in and maybe save you, right? So, want to do nice things for you, want to take... I was literally about to say they want to take care of you, and then as I'm opening it up, it says wants to take care of you. Oh my gosh, I promise you guys, that is so cool. Oh, I love that. Okay. All right, guys, I love this. Okay, I am going to pull... These cards are new and they're still kind of sticking together a little bit, so I'm going to have to be careful when I'm trying to shuffle them, but let's just end with like a comforting message from the universe. Let's just do that. Let's just end with a comforting message from the universe. I think that'll be a nice way to conclude this reading. Pile 1. Message of comfort from the universe. Message of comfort. Ooh, Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth. There's a lot here about water in your reading, actually. There was quite a, I don't know, there was something about the beach imagery that was also calling out to me. I like this because I feel like for those of you who are watching this reading and you have felt like you were in a stagnant, stuck place, or you felt like kind of just dissatisfied with your love life, or maybe just your life in general, you didn't feel like there was much excitement, given this person's spontaneous energy and all the fire sign energy we were getting, and even just their compassionate nature and also the water energy we were getting, I feel like not only is this marriage going to be very healing, but even just you meeting this person and talking to them and being in their energy, I think it's going to be very transformative for you. I think there's something there about them pulling you out of your shell and getting you to be an active participant in life again. There's something about that I feel like is very significant here. Okay. Yeah, I feel like could be too if you have past history with this person, it's talking about a rebirth. You know, something they're changing. But I feel like the overall message here is just that this connection is going to be really good for you in so many ways. And of course, you're going to bring something to the table as well, but I do feel like you can feel good about your future spouse and who they are and what they're going to mean to you in your life. Okay, pile 1, this was your reading. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And I will see you guys in my next one. Take care. All right, on my pile 2s, if you chose the pink kitty cat, welcome to your reading. So let's find out, how are you meeting your future spouse? So you manifested them. Go pile 2. Random weird circumstances, good story of how you met. Okay, you guys are gonna be really fun. Destiny, fate, divine timing, everyone's favorite, right? This is a really good sign though for the longevity and quality of your connection and your marriage, because if you came into union through divine timing, that means you both were energetically ready. You basically have a divinely guided, blessed union, like your guides are cheering you on. They want this to happen as much as you do. You're in alignment with your higher self. They're in alignment with their higher self. You're on the right path. Like, fate has aligned to basically gift you with this person and to gift them with you. So, I mean, it's sort of like, instead of the cards being stacked against you, they're being stacked in your favor. So yeah, this feels very lucky, very lucky. Okay, we've got meet cute, unlikely, chance-like meeting, very rom-com-like. Okay, I love this for you guys. Kind of picked the best group, I must say. And it says crowded place, social event, public space. Okay, now this may not necessarily resonate for all of you, but I put this with this group because it kind of made me think of that trope in movies, you know, in rom-coms where they see each other across a crowded room and they lock eyes and it just feels like destiny, and you know, they're there at the exact right time. Usually they weren't even meant to be there. It's like their friend dragged them there or something like that. So yeah, something about that kind of reminded me of the meet cute. But yes, this won't apply to all of you, but it is a possibility. Okay, so I don't feel like you guys are like pile 1 in the sense that you need to screenshot this, but I am going to clear these away now. So if you need to pause the video and you want to read over them again on your own, go ahead and do that because I'm about to take them away so we have some space. Okay, so pile 2, we're going to pull some tarot and oracle cards. We'll get some months of the year, and then we will end your reading with some clues about who your future spouse is, some details about them. Okay. Uh-oh, it's supposed to say 2. It's gonna bother me if that's not on top. Sorry guys. Okay, there we go. All right, Spirit, please, if we can find out some more information about the circumstances regarding this meeting. Now I will say, as like a word of caution before you get your hopes up, given that this is divine timing, given that this is fated, given that this is maybe a meet cute and some weird circumstances, it's probably gonna vary a lot for those of you who are watching. I mean, it's a general reading already, but when you throw in divine timing and fate and destiny, yeah, it's gonna vary. It's gonna vary a lot. Also, Spirit tends to be more hush-hush. They don't want to spoil the surprise. Like, they've been working on this. So if we're not getting messages, I'm not going to make stuff up. I'm just going to tell you, like, that's all they want you to know, okay? You know, it's sort of like, just be patient. Christmas or whatever you celebrate, like, your birthday is probably a better example. You know, like, if you're really excited for your birthday and you know it's coming, but no one will tell you what your gift is or what your cake is going to be, it's kind of the same thing. So pile 2, we'll just do the best that we can. All right, pile 2, circumstances, when, how, around their meeting with their future spouse, please, Spirit. Anything that you can tell us, please, Spirit. Okay, yeah, with the moon, Spirit is already being like, I don't know how much I want to share. Okay, I'm not taking these 3, but I am taking the Chariot. Ooh, the High Priestess. I love her. We'll get 2 more cards for you guys. Oh, this is interesting. Aww. I'm sorry, all the messages are coming through. I'm trying to wait here. Oh my gosh, you guys. Aww. Okay. Bottom of the deck here, we have the Earth Queen. So maybe you guys resonate with this energy. Kind of makes me feel like this is the energy you'll be in when you come into union with your future spouse. Like, just look at how abundant this garden is. Like, look at this collar. Look at this necklace. Like, look at how floofy. So I feel like there's something about an up-leveling maybe in your finances or your lifestyle when you come into union with your future spouse. Either you guys both just work really hard and you're both go-getters and you inspire each other and you're very supportive of one another and you both have expansion in your career, or when you meet your future spouse, they're already pretty financially well off. So whichever message resonates, take it, but this tells me you're going to have a really abundant home life. I mean, your garden is growing, right? Like, there's fruits of your labor. You've already picked them. Look at those strawberries kind of thing. Okay. Now, yes, with the moon here, there's a lot of mystery. You know, Spirit is only showing you the path of the moonlight, and that is it. You don't know what is lurking in the shadows. Doesn't matter. Spirit is like, just follow the light of the moon. Sorry about that, guys. Just follow the light of the moon. Trust your intuition. You also got the High Priestess. They want you to be in this energy, okay? Look at all this amethyst surrounding her like a cocoon. And even the moon here, it looks like the Cheshire Cat smile, right? Like Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole. Like, you don't know what's coming. You don't know what's coming next, but just follow our voice. Follow the signs. Follow the synchronicities. Follow your intuition. Just trust us. Just trust us. Even if you're creeping along in the dark, even if you don't feel super confident like the High Priestess, just trust. Because you can see this butterfly is right over this cat's shoulder. Like, we're here. We're here. We may have to come in a different form than you expect, but we're here. And so they're saying just trust us. We're guiding you down the correct path here, okay? And you don't need to concern yourself with what is lurking in the shadows, because we are protecting you and we're protecting this union. We want this to happen just as much as you do. So, you know, sort of like, I got a message for myself once in a reading that was like, don't micromanage the universe, don't micromanage your guides. And that really stuck with me. And so when I get super anxious or impatient about something, especially if I'm trying to manifest, I just remind myself of that and how much I hate being micromanaged. And I'm like, I never want to do that to Spirit. So just asking you to trust and have faith. My cat is playing with a single piece of paper and being really loud. Hold on. Okay, try to guide her away from that. I'm sorry. Okay, so yes, there's a message here about trust, faith, patience. I feel like I was giggling because the Four of Cups here, the way this is depicted, it's like, you've been through it. You've already been through the water. You've already been through the hurt, the pain, the heartbreak. No wonder you're trying to manifest your future spouse. You're over it. You're like, I just want to meet my person and I just want to be done. And it's like, you kind of feel like, because this is typically depicted on the moon card in the Rider-Waite Tarot. I don't know, I think these are meant to be like crawfish or lobster or whatever it is. But there is like, I think a crawfish on the Rider-Waite moon card, if my memory serves me correctly. And so it kind of makes me feel like you almost feel like what's being hidden from you is taunting you. You know, like you could, it's almost like you could turn your head and see what's being hidden from you, but you can't, because you're so caught up in sort of the misery of like being stuck in that water. And even though you're out of the water now, you're still miserable. Like you still feel some grief, some sense of loss, some sense of maybe a little bit of hopelessness. Like you're trying to be optimistic. I do feel like you're trying, but I feel like it's hard. And it feels like what is being hidden from you is so close, and yet you can't even bear to look. Like it's almost like even if the future was shown to you, you would be afraid to know. Like you desperately want to know what's going to happen, but you're also still a sense of fear there. Like, do I even want to know? Are things even going to get better? Yeah, my cat has the zoomies. I'm sorry. She's like thrashing around now in some tissue paper she found. So yeah, the best I can say for this energy is just the only way is through. So just try your best to be patient and to be optimistic. Some days are going to be harder than others. Some days you're going to be triggered by memories of the past, and you just have to do your best to remember that your guides are there. There's honestly like, just do the best that you can is kind of the message that's coming through. It's almost like your guides are like, we know this is hard. We know this is tough. We know it's so hard to trust that something is coming, even though you're not seeing any physical evidence of it, and even though you feel crazy for believing this could happen. Like, just trust us is kind of the message that's coming through, which is kind of what I was suspecting we would get. I will say this Chariot card is a bit of a clue, though. This is a bit of a clue. So maybe one of you is going to be traveling when you meet each other. So maybe one of you is not in the place they typically are. So maybe they're on vacation, maybe they're on a business trip, maybe you are. Maybe it's even as simple as you go to a different grocery store than you typically go to. Something about that. Remember how I said, like, maybe you're dragged to an event by a friend and you didn't really want to go? Something about that. Something about I'm not where I typically am with the Chariot. Some of you could possibly meet this person after you make an actual move of your living situation, or they move their living situation. But if that doesn't resonate, just leave it. But there's something there about movement. I also feel like this is a message saying, even though it doesn't feel like it, this person is on their way to you, okay? Like, this union is coming, okay? Like, it's coming to fruition. All right, and then with the Six of Sea, this makes me so happy because this is the Six of Cups, okay? And so this is a card of past life connection, of soulmates, of spiritual connection, of sort of that return to that sense of like childlike wonder. And I did pick up the Alice in Wonderland theme, so maybe you did know this, maybe you could have known this person when you were younger, but I think really it's just soulmate energy coming through, which makes sense. If you're manifesting your future spouse, you would manifest a spiritual connection, especially if divine timing is at work. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. I just feel this is always a very sweet and nurturing dynamic. So it's going to be very loving, very supportive, very encouraging, very safe, very stable, very secure energy between you and this person, which is honestly my favorite. Now, I've saved the best for last. I do feel like this is your future spouse. Now, if you resonate with this energy yourself, could be that your future spouse and you are a lot alike, or it could just be that this is you. But this is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. But the Fire King, I mean, he would be one to travel, for sure. I mean, Sagittarius energy, Leo, Aries, absolutely, especially Sagittarius. Yeah, like there's definitely something there about travel. But yeah, this is someone who, gosh, just look. This is making me think of the Olympics. Like, so this person could be athletic. There's also just a sense here of like confidence, of determination, of like, I know I look good. Even the little lizard down here makes me feel like, because lizards are really resilient, right? They survive some pretty harsh conditions, and they're pretty little, right? So There's something here about resilience, about someone being really hardworking, a go-getter, ambitious, someone who, you know, doesn't give up, someone who perseveres, someone who's confident. Even when they don't feel like they're really confident, they still project that outwards. Someone who's really fun-loving. I think someone who is also really connected to their physical body. So maybe, I don't know, I'm just kind of picking up that like maybe their love language is touch, but take that as it resonates. This fluffy tail, there's something about that of like them being maybe like quite stylish or really polished or put together. Something about the way they dress, like they aim to impress. Yeah, there's something there about like they want to look good, they want to look their best. If they're going out somewhere, they want to look their best. I kid you not. The stray orange fluffy cat that roams around our neighborhood is outside the window right now, and it looks just like this cat. So yes, I feel like this is your future spouse. Not the actual cat, but that energy of a fluffy orange cat. The Fire King. The King of Wands, if you guys haven't worked that out yet. Okay. Oh man. Let's see if we can get some more astrological information about this meeting between pile 2 and their future spouse. Please, Spirit. Pile 2 and their future spouse. Pile 2 and their future spouse. I think also if you tend to daydream a lot, or you're an idealist, or you're in your head a lot, I feel like given that we had the Earth Queen here as your bottom of the deck energy, I feel like there's something there about, because remember I said I feel like they're more physical. I feel like there's something about them bringing you down to earth, bringing you down into like your root chakra, your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and something about just really bringing you back into your body. So I feel like you would feel it physically when you meet them, like butterflies. You would feel goosebumps, right? You would feel like you couldn't take your eyes off of them. Like you might feel a chill going through your body, something, or you might feel suddenly warm for some reason. There's just something there about them having a physical effect on you, and I think also making you feel really safe and secure and grounded. So it's kind of beautiful because like they stoke that fire in you, they stoke that passion. You know, they make you feel all giddy and happy and in love, but they also make you feel safe and secure. So that's a beautiful mix to me. I love that for you guys. Okay, pile 2. Pile 2. Okay, so this came out in pile 1 as well, but I mean, you guys are so different than pile 1. So different. Pile 2. I'm going to take the bottom of the deck. Sorry, sometimes I like, do I want more cards? But I think this is enough. Okay. All right. Jupiter, expansion, and the semi-sextile allowing. I feel like this is just confirming, like this is like Wheel of Fortune to me. The rainbow reminds me of 10 of Cups. The dice here also reminds me of Wheel of Fortune. Fate is like smiling down on you. Destiny is smiling down on you. This is 10 of Cups. This is like pure domestic bliss, pure happiness, pure contentment, pure joy between you and another person. And so it's also very equal, very balanced. Like you give 5 cups, I give 5 cups. Yeah, like this is, you feel lucky. You feel so lucky to have met this person, so lucky. And the universe is allowing it, right? They're helping this union. Whatever cycle you were caught up in, it's ending. This is a fresh start. This is moving into a new cycle. Leaving the old behind, leaving behind what no longer serves you. And it brings you to like a sweeter, more innocent place. Like you believe in love again. Yeah, and then with, there's a lot of passion here with Scorpio energy, with intimacy, but I also feel like it of course goes beyond the physical, right? If this is soulmate energy, this is spiritual connection, mental, emotional, physical, it's the full package, okay? Like, I don't feel like you knew what true intimacy was. I don't feel like you ever felt seen in the way that this person is going to make you feel seen. And with Saturn here, this is coming across very differently than pile 1. This is making me feel like Saturn is father time, okay? Saturn is slow moving. You probably feel like you've been waiting for this person for a long time. And even if it's only been like maybe 6 months of you trying to manifest this person, those 6 months probably felt like 6 years. You know, like there's just something here about being tested, like having your patience tested, and understanding that this is happening on the universe's timetable, not just yours. And it's not just about when you're ready, it's about when your future spouse is ready. So even though you're like, I'm ready, you need to understand maybe your future spouse isn't ready, and maybe the universe is helping them out right now, and you need to be patient. So sorry, that was like a tough love message there, but I feel like this is also encouraging you to get grounded again, like get grounded. Focus on your own goals, focus on your own work, keep trying to grow and develop until this person comes in. I feel like that's going to keep you busy, keep you occupied, you know, and keep you out of your head so you don't feel so anxious while you're waiting for this to happen. Now, this is a little bit more of an odd deck. It's kind of a bit more of an experiment, me using this, but let's just see if we can find out what are the objects, what are some clues, some hints around the circumstances in which pile 2 and their future spouse meet, please, Spirit. Now, these are going to be more specific messages, and again, because this is divine timing and like weird circumstances and like a meet cute, not every message is going to be yours. So if, you know, you're not feeling called towards a particular card or message, just leave it. If it doesn't resonate, always leave it. Okay. Pile 2, circumstances. Oh my God. My Leo energy. Okay, so I feel like we've got kind of 3 confirmations here of Leo, because the Fire King, the way the sun is here on this Chariot card in particular reminds me of Leo, even though the Chariot card is Cancer, still makes me think of Leo, just with the way it's depicted here. And then given that we have Lion here, your future spouse very well could be a Leo, or maybe you are a Leo and that's a confirmation for you that you picked the right group. I also feel like this is telling me that this is going to happen on a day where you feel really confident, you feel really good about yourself. Maybe you're wearing a very nice outfit that day, maybe you bought, I don't know, a new dress or something, maybe you're having a good hair day. This is Leo. All about that lion mane. So I'm speaking as a Leo myself. Yeah, there's something here about you're looking good, you're feeling good on this day. Also, lions are in a pride, right? So maybe you are with your friends when you meet your future spouse, or maybe they're with their friends. Maybe you're just in a social setting. That could also be a message. Also with the lion, and given that we have the 6 of Cups here and Leos are very generous, maybe the first time you meet your future spouse, they give you something. So that could be they give you a compliment, they offer to buy you coffee, they offer to take you to lunch or dinner, or even as simple as like, let me carry that bag for you. And as you're like, I don't know, meeting each other at the UPS. I don't know. It's gonna vary, right? But there's something here, I think, also about generosity. Okay. See, 1 card and I can get like 6 messages from it. Okay. Anything else, please, Spirit, about pile 2 and their meeting? Okay, yeah. They catch your eye, or you catch their eye. Someone sees somebody, like I said, across a room, a little bit from a distance. It's like, you just zero in on them, or they zero in on you. Like you guys can't take your eyes off of each other. Yeah, something about seeing each other. Creature's paw. I don't know why this in particular, it makes me think of Lady Gaga. I have no idea why. There's just something there about just, I don't know. I think she called her fans little monsters, I think. I don't know if she still does that or not, but for some reason I think of Lady Gaga when I look at this. And even with like the claws, it looks like someone got their nails done. So again, I feel like you're gonna feel like you're looking good on this day. Also with Creature's paws though, there's something there about individuality and sexuality to me. So I feel like again, this is just on a day where you feel really confident, really in your power. Could be too, like if you're feeling really insecure right now, this is just a message that this person is going to come in when you've healed some of that insecurity, when you do feel good about yourself, when you are in that higher vibration. Yeah, they're being very cagey about this. They're not giving us very many clues because they're really talking about energy, because it's really divine timing is. It's not like, oh, on October 3rd, I kid you not, this orange cat is walking by the neighbor's house now. Yeah, you guys might definitely be marrying a Leo. I'm sorry. With divine timing though, it's not like you're definitely gonna meet this person on October 3rd. If you meet them on October 3rd, please come back to this video. But it's more so energetically, I am in alignment with you. Okay, bam, this day is happening now. This meeting is happening. We're in energetic alignment. Bam. Like, that's when it happens. Like the circumstances have to line up. And a lot of that has to do with your own energy, how you're feeling about yourself. If you're vibrating at this level and they're vibrating at this level, what are the chances of you meeting, right? You have to be in alignment. So yeah, I think it's a lot to do with your own confidence and probably, theirs as well. Bottom of the deck, we have white dress. So yeah, just confirmation for you guys. There is someone out there for you. Don't worry, don't worry. Okay, let's get some months of the year that this could happen. So I've been getting 3 months for, well, you guys are only the second group, but for pile 1, I got 3 months. So we'll get 3 months for you all as well. So pile 2, when could this meeting potentially happen? So we have March, May, and January. Bottom of the deck, we have June. Oh wow, so that's kind of March, May, and June are all fairly close together. And then January. Okay, so these are just potentials. And given that this is a divine timing situation, I would say a lot of this is in flux. Like you could either bring in this person a lot sooner, or you could postpone them. And it's the same thing for their energy, and that's what makes it so confusing, because you could be doing everything right and maybe they're not, or maybe they're doing everything right and you're not. So just be patient, just be patient. If you think you're frustrated, imagine all the work the universe is having to do. Okay, so let's get some more clues about who your future spouse is, pile 2. Who is pile 2's future spouse? Who is pile 2's future spouse? Who is pile 2's future spouse? Okay. Okay, they love to be outdoors. They're athletic. They love to travel. Okay, you got the Chariot, so again, they could be traveling when they meet you. They have dark hair. They're highly educated. So when I wrote this, this can mean like a variety of things, like whatever that means to you. So maybe they have their PhD, maybe they have their master's, their bachelor's. Maybe they don't have like a formal education, or maybe they like know a trade or a skill like really, really well. Yeah, there's something though that they have a lot of knowledge about. They're very talented. honestly too highly educated and talented. Like maybe they're a skilled musician or artist or writer or something like that too. That could be a possibility. There's something that they know a lot about. So they could just have like a hobby or passion that they're really knowledgeable about. Okay, they could also have unusual hair color. So either dark hair or unusual hair color. There are probably also dark hair colors that are unusual. If you want to claim both messages, claim both messages. That's up to you. These are more specific, so not all of them are necessarily going to apply to you. Okay, let's end with a comforting message from Spirit. Oh my gosh, words. This is a newer deck, so they're kind of stuck together a little bit. They're a little bit stiff, so I'm still breaking them in. So if you guys don't mind being a little bit patient with me. Okay, pile 2. Comforting message from Spirit, please, to end this reading. Words of comfort from Spirit, please. Words of comfort. Sorry if you guys hear not the ambulance, the fire truck. There's a fire station near me, so. There we go. Ooh, Our Lady of the Inner Gate. I feel like there's some things that your guides are sort of shielding you from. You know, remember how I said in the beginning with the moon card, like, don't worry about what's lurking in the shadows. They're like, trust us. Like, wow, that's really loud. I'm sorry. At the end of your reading too. Yeah, I was just saying, there's something here about don't worry. Like, you trust me. Like, you don't want to know everything that's happening right now. That you know that there is a reason why certain things are being hidden from you. It's for your highest good. Like, just think about how anxious you would be and how nervous you would be and how self-conscious you would be if you knew the exact date and time when you would meet your future spouse. Like, you would probably be really jumpy, looking around like a crazy person, looking over your shoulder like, okay, where are they? Where are they? Like, you would feel like really tense, really on edge. It would be a lot of pressure, right? So even just in that sense, you know, it's going to vary for a lot of you, but it's kind of like, trust us. Like, you want this to happen naturally. You want to go with the flow. It'll be so much better for your mental state and your emotional state if you just let us handle this. And I think too, just the way the heart is shielded here, there's this sort of feeling of like, don't worry, like, we got you. Like, we're gonna handle your heart with care, and we're gonna deliver you a person who is also gonna handle your heart with care. Like, you two deserve each other in the best possible way. So just relax. We got this. We got this. Is kind of the message. Okay, pile 2, this was your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload new videos. I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who has been supporting this channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Take care, pile 2. All right, on my pile 3s, if you chose the gold kitty cat, welcome to your reading. So let's find out where you're gonna meet your future spouse. So we have, they could be a business owner or freelance. Let's see. You can meet at a restaurant, all kinds. So restaurant is pretty open-ended. This is a general reading, so you guys aren't all gonna meet, you know, at a sit-down restaurant. You could meet them at a cafe, a coffee shop, literally like an ice cream place, a smoothie shop, like any sort of place where they, you know, like sell food or beverages could be a thing. Like, it could be a Dairy Queen on a boardwalk at the beach, you know, like something like that. Maybe they own the ice cream shop, you know, something like that. Yeah, so maybe they own a restaurant. That could be, and you eat at their restaurant. That could be a thing. Okay, let's see. Also, not all of these are going to apply to, you know, every single one of you watching. So, like, if the business owner freelance isn't resonating with you, but restaurant is, then you know that this is your message. So just use your intuition. Okay, we have grocery store. That could be another possibility. We have, oh, coffee shop, cafe. And they travel for work. That would make sense if they were freelance or even business owners. You know, maybe they travel to meet suppliers, or they have a business partner, or something about travel. They have to, you know, travel for their business that they own. So if you need to like screenshot this, if you're watching this on your phone, or if you want to pause the video and write these down really fast, feel free to do so. But I'm going to go ahead and clear them away so we have more space, because we're going to do tarot and oracle cards. We're going to find out some months of the year that you could be meeting this person. And then we're also going to find out just some more clues about who your future spouse is at the very end. Oh, I did the same thing again. It's going to bother me if the 3 isn't on top. Sorry. Okay. So let's get your tarot pile 3. It's funny too, just 3s just make me think also of like the 3 of Pentacles or the 3 of Cups, like somewhere where you would be surrounded by people, or that could be like a nod to them being a business owner and like collaborating with a bunch of different people to run their business. That could also be another message for you guys. Okay, so pile 3. Please, Spirit, what are the circumstances? Where and how are they meeting their future spouse, please, Spirit? And a big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. But how is pile 3 meeting their future spouse, please, Spirit? How is pile 3 meeting their future spouse? How is pile 3 meeting their future spouse? Oh, wow. That's a lot of cards. The moon has been coming out a lot, actually. Okay. I think every single group so far has gotten the moon. Let's see. Got Earth Queen. Nine of Swords. So in this deck, like 8 of Fires, 8 of Wands, Earth Queen, Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Skies, 9 of Swords. You guys probably already figured that out, but just thought I would point it out to you all. Okay, and we have the King of Swords, or the Sky King. Bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Wands. Okay. Lots of messages coming through here. I will say, I feel like you two would be a power couple. I just want to say that because, you know, you could be the Sky King or the Earth Queen. Just pick whichever energy resonates with you, and then you'll know who your future spouse is. But I feel like you two would be a power couple for sure. I mean, this is someone who is like very grounded, hardworking, practical, reliable, dependable. These are both like king and queens are, you know, really empowered energy, right? Like they're evolved, they're mature, they're not pages. So I feel like there's this sense of like us, of you two being equals. And I think too of like one of you is coming from that divine feminine place, the other person is coming from that divine masculine place. And again, we're talking about energy, not gender, but just this feeling of like, I have my lane and you have your lane, but when we come together, like this is success, this is like money, this is status, this is a couple when you walk into a room, like people notice, you know, like it's just this sense of confidence. I mean, one of you is Gemini, Aries, not Gemini, Aries, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra energy. This is someone who is a great leader, someone who is very articulate, someone that can really command attention, someone that holds like firm boundaries, someone who is professional, someone who can hold their own in like an argument, someone who is very clear, very decisive, maybe comes off a bit reserved, especially with the way it's depicted here, with the winter scene, like really kind of looking maybe more cold and maybe more aloof. This cat kind of has like resting you know what face a little bit. Like maybe comes off as a bit judgmental even though they're not, but that's just maybe the energy they put off is a bit intimidating, because again, like they just seem so put together, so smart, very like quick and fast and witty, and just really not someone to try to deceive, not at all. And this is someone who really values fairness and honesty and truth and justice. And then like combining that again with that nurturing energy, but also someone who grows their own garden, someone who can stand on their own, someone who is strong, someone who is resilient, someone who is, you know, someone who can take care of themselves. So it's like, just when you come together, it's just, you both really play off of each other's strengths really, really well. Okay, now let's get into how you're meeting a little bit more here. So I kind of feel like this is going to happen at a time where you don't feel, I don't feel like one of you is on your A game. And that doesn't mean that, because I do think you guys are both successful, but I feel like there's some sort of disruption in your life that sort of puts you on the path of meeting this person. And if it's not you, it's them, but one of you is experiencing a disruption. One of you is experiencing a sudden major change. 8 of Fire, 8 of Wands is like, this cat is like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta go, I gotta run. Like, it's just like this fast, positive movement in your life, like this sudden series of changes that really feels like you have the rug pulled out from under you. You know, the Tower moment, it's like disruptive, it's uncomfortable, it's a massive change, but pairing these two energies next to each other, it's not unwanted change, but it is sudden and it is unexpected and it is a bit uncomfortable, because change in and of itself is uncomfortable even when we want it. But to have these next to each other is beautiful. Like, you definitely want the 8 of Wands next to the Tower. Like, yes, it means it's going to happen so suddenly and so unexpectedly, but it is positive. It is for your highest good. The Tower always is, but it's definitely softens the blow, because the Tower can come across as like tough love, like if you're not going to make the change, then I'm going to topple the Tower for you to put you on the right path. This is more so, I've been praying and asking for this change, but man, when it comes in, it's still unexpected and it's still like life-changing, because I think it's the speed at which this change comes that kind of knocks one of you off kilter. Maybe both of you are experiencing this, but there's a sudden shift that puts you two in the same room, basically, puts you in the same space. And there's a sense of mystery here. You know, there's a sense of like, yeah, I know that you don't know exactly what this is. You know, Spirit is saying like, I know, I get it. But it is coming. Like, it's sort of like your, you kind of, you know how you can sense a thunderstorm before it comes, especially cats, right? Like, you feel the storm coming on, you feel this ache in your bones, you know, there's that kind of feeling in the air that something is coming, but it's not here yet. It's like you can feel change is coming. Maybe you've been really tired a lot lately, maybe feeling drained and you don't know why. It's like your body's like, rest. Please take this time to rest, because this sudden change is coming in really quickly, and we're going to need all the energy that we can get. And I feel like with the Nine of Sky here, the Nine of Swords, I mean, this is sleepless nights, this is nightmares, this is anxiety. So maybe even really stressed about like, when am I gonna meet somebody? Maybe your love life has been stressful, or maybe you've just had other stressful events going on in your life that make you wish that you had a partner. Maybe you just have a lot of fear and anxiety around love. You have a lot of limiting beliefs maybe that you need to work through. And again, this could be both of you, but especially with the moon here, maybe you've dreamt of meeting this person. That could also be a possibility. Maybe you've been having really strange dreams with some unknown person that's been kind of weirding you out a little bit. But I just feel like for a lot of you, this is limiting beliefs and stress and anxiety. And I feel like there's a lot going on in your life or their life or both of you. And again, it's not that you're not successful. And even if you feel like you're not in either one of these energies yet, you're like, I don't feel successful. You're on that path. You're on your way. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like some of you may not even recognize, especially with this Nine of Swords being here, this Nine of Sky, some of you may not even recognize your own strengths. You know, because like I said, it could be that you don't see yourself as this Earth Queen or this Sky King, but you are. It's like you just don't see your own strengths. You're not seeing yourself clearly. You're not seeing the extent of your own potential. And that could be too like part of why you two are meant to come together, because one of you is going to help the other person recognize their potential. And you know, whoever is going through this Tower moment is the one who is not seeing their potential. Because I do think that's part of this union, is to build each other up, elevate one another. Now, with this Six of Wands here, this Six of Fire, notice how like all the cats are almost sort of like bringing offerings to this one cat. You know, it kind of makes me feel like this is a sign that your future spouse is someone who has a lot of people working for them. And it kind of feels like maybe they run a company from afar. Maybe that's why they have to travel and they interact with all these different people to make themselves successful. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, they're running this business and they're at the top, right? They're the leaders. So they are the ones who are going to get the most profit, because the person at the top gets, you know, the owner of the business is meant to get the, you know, the largest chunk of the pie. So that's kind of making me feel like they have a lot of connections and they're responsible also for multiple people, because that is a responsibility you feel as a business owner. You know that the people working for you depend upon that salary, depend upon that pay to feed their families, right? So that's a big responsibility. So that could be also this, because I do think this is likely your future spouse, but this could be you if you're the business owner. But I feel like this is your future spouse because of this seriousness. Like, that's why they may feel a bit more stern or a bit more reserved or a bit intimidating, because they just have a lot on their mind. And I think that they're really just thinking a lot and they're in their heads a lot, and they're always thinking of ways to grow the business, thinking of ways to better themselves. And because they have all these responsibilities to their customers, but also the people who work for them, and then their own like goals, they just always have a lot on their mind. That could also be them, you know, like they have a lot of sleepless nights. Maybe you guys both have some insomnia. But I feel like that's what gives them this appearance. And people think maybe they're standoffish, or like I said, they kind of feel like they're mean, but they're not. They just have a lot on their mind. And so they're always really focused on work. That could also be why this person hasn't married yet, you know, because they're busy. Like, they're just busy all the time. Yeah. A lot of messages came through for you guys. Your reading's a little bit more all over the place, which makes me think that your pile's a bit more diverse than the first two groups. Well, pile 2 was kind of interesting. I won't spoil it in case you're also drawn to that reading, but Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Like a lot. I'm just looking over the cards to make sure no other messages are coming through. Okay, yeah, I think I covered everything. All right, so let's get some more information, please, Spirit, about pile 3 and the circumstances. Where and how will they be meeting their future spouse, please, Spirit? Where and how will they be meeting their future spouse? I wonder too if this could be like a party at a restaurant. You know how, people have birthday parties at restaurants and there's a lot of people around? I wonder maybe if you're having like a birthday party, or they are, or maybe the restaurant is, if it is at a restaurant, because I know we also got, I think, grocery store, like coffee shop, but that could also be a message, like maybe there is some sort of party that you're having, a dinner party at a restaurant to celebrate something, and someone's bringing gifts to somebody. That could also be a message. Or maybe you have like one coffee shop you always go to with your friends, just because of the number of cats we have on this card. Okay. Pile 3. North Node, Destiny. I do feel like there's an element here of, in some way, your career and their career, or your soul, like your soul purpose and their soul purpose is in alignment. Like I feel like you guys have some sort of like joint soul mission. We'll get some cards about that later. Okay, Venus, we have love. I do, whenever I see this within the context of the kind of reading we're doing today, makes me feel like, if not, I don't necessarily think this is love at first sight, just given their personality and your personality, but I do think this is sort of like instant attraction, like instant physical attraction. Because Venus, I think of Libra energy and aesthetic. I also think of Taurus, which is also very concerned with appearances. And we did have Earth Queen here too, so that could be echoing Taurus. But I think there's something here about, I find you aesthetically pleasing, and also like just this sense of like you're instantly charmed by them. I do feel like they come through with that like wealthy energy, that sense of luxury about them. And then when I think also of Taurus, I think of food, and you did have food come up, like you had restaurant, you had cafe, you had grocery store, so yeah. 10th house, we have Capricorn, career. So yeah, like I said, there's something there about maybe you literally meet them at a place of business that they own that is like food related, or it's just that you are meant to help them in some way in their career, or they're meant to help you, or you guys are maybe going to go into business together. There's just something there about a sort of sense of alignment. I want to get one more card for you guys. 5th house, passion, creativity. This is Leo, so that could also be another sign that's coming into the mix. Bottom of the deck, we have Saturn. This is also Capricorn energy. This is a lot about self-discipline and structure and like father time, hard lessons won. I feel like this is the energy also of your future spouse. Like I feel like they were someone who was likely self-made. Even if they came from a wealthier background, it's just this sense of like they earned it though. Like they really worked hard. They didn't have, I'm sure they had some privilege and connection if they came from a wealthy background, but it's kind of that sense of like, not like you would expect. Like they still had their challenges and struggles, and it wasn't like their business or their career was handed to them on a silver platter. Like they really did work for it. They are very hardworking, very ambitious. I think that's very important for their like self-worth and how they view themselves. I think they're really concerned with like their status, like that, like they're the type of person where they really connect their self-worth to their productivity level. Like being successful is incredibly important to them. And I feel like with the fifth house there, it's sort of like when you guys come together, because maybe you resonate with that energy as well. I think when you guys come together, it's like you also introduce fun and you introduce passion and lightheartedness and humor and romance back into each other's lives. You know, Leo energy is very fun, very creative, very lighthearted. And so I feel like this is also, just with me seeing the number 3 here, and then this is also the house of children. This makes me think that if you're wanting to start a family with this person, with your future spouse, you know, 2 becoming 3, starting a family, that could be confirmation that like, yes, you could have kids with this person if you're interested. If you're not, leave that message. But I do feel like this is bringing some much needed balance, because maybe you guys are both workaholics, and this is bringing some much needed balance, this fifth house, to your lives, especially too, like 5 and 10, like again, like balance. Okay, let's find out, please, Spirit, any information about this like potential for a joint soul mission between pile 3 and their future spouse. Anything about a joint soul mission, something related to their career? Can we clarify that message, please, Spirit? And you guys know this is a general reading, so it's not going to be the exact same for all of you, so I will pull a couple of cards. If none of them resonate, none of them resonate. Okay, so we have healer. I'll get into these in a second. I just want to draw the cards first. Yoga. Infinite abundance. Okay, let's put this in the middle. And then we also have speaker as your bottom of the deck. Okay, so I do feel like there's something here with speaker of you and your future spouse inspiring other people through your words. So there's something there about you all setting an example for other people and being a source of healing for them. Now, there is, I think, something to be said about being inspired by someone else and finding that very healing. Like seeing someone start a business from scratch and keeping it going and having it be successful is something that could be inspiring. Like food is a huge passion. Like there's a whole like culinary arts, it's a whole thing. So maybe they own a restaurant and then you come in with all these ideas, that Leo 5th house energy, and you inspire them to open up a bakery next to their restaurants, and people are inspired by all the cakes and pastries, and then they have them at their all their family functions and all their big celebrations, and then that feels very healing, right? When family and friends come together and celebrate something and uplift one another, that can be very healing, and people do bond over food, over shared meals. Like a lot of our conversations happen over shared meals. So I do think there's something there about food. And I think there's also, you know, there's like creative ways, right, for me to explain these, because there's a lot of different messages coming through. This could also literally mean like maybe one of you works in the healthcare field, maybe one of you has like a spiritual practice that is inspiring to the other person and helps them bring that balance, and so they're not so much of a workaholic. And that then positively influences the collective, right? You help them get their chakras in alignment, that sort of thing. Even with this stretching and exercising, like maybe you guys end up opening up a gym together, or maybe you guys end up being like personal trainers together. I don't, like, there's so many different ways that you guys could, that this could end up applying, and especially since this is a general reading. So if you're seeing something in these cards that I'm not saying, like by all means, like claim that message, especially because we got infinite abundance. So it's sort of like you two are such powerhouses and you're gonna work so well together. And I think it's because your communication is wonderful. I mean, the Earth Queen is very open, very honest, and then the Sky King, like blunt, but articulate and honest and truthful. Like those two energies coming together, like communicate beautifully together. So, and very straightforward from the Earth Queen and very straightforward from the Sky King. So yes, I feel like the potential here for growth and abundance is beautiful. I could also read this honestly that maybe if you all have children, one of them will go on to be a doctor who heals people, or one of them will go on to be someone who heals people, you know, by like by yoga or other like spiritual means. Like, I mean, how many people, like Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube, I love her so much. How much healing do you think she's done just virtually, people watching her videos? You know, like how many people has she helped? So stuff like that could also be like even your children, even the legacy that your children will leave. Because with infinite abundance, I kind of think of legacy, and not to be dramatic, but like a family dynasty, like people, because like, that could be a thing too. Like you see that all the time with businesses, like that get passed on to the kids and then their kids and then their kids. And before you know it, like the business has been there 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? So I think there's also something there about legacy as well, if you're wanting to have children, about them carrying on what you all start or what your future spouse has started. Okay, I'm not going to keep going on and on because I could keep naming things from these cards, but like I said, if you guys see something that I didn't mention, feel free to claim it. There's a reason why you thought of it. Okay, so let's see pile 3. Your reading is so different, man. All right, pile 3. These messages are going to be a little bit more specific than some of the like tarot cards that we got. So if something doesn't resonate, I'm going to keep saying it. Leave it. All right, pile 3. What are some objects? What are some symbols, some signs around this first meeting with their future spouse, please, Spirit? That's interesting with eel. Honestly, that makes me think of sushi. Like maybe it'll be a sushi restaurant, or maybe they come from a different cultural background than you, where like people commonly eat eel. That could be a thing. We have ghost. Okay, I'm gonna get the rest of the cards before I just talk. Snail. Okay, bottom of the deck we have boar. This is actually coming across a little bit differently. With boar, I kind of feel like this is the energy of your future spouse. Like unless you resonate with the Sky King, but this makes me feel like they're just a fierce competitor. Like they are just they're the type of boss or the type of leader, manager, whatever, who commands respect. You know, like they're not super buddy with their employees. They're not, they have strong boundaries. And it's not that they don't, you know, like make jokes, or they're not friendly, or they're not kind to their staff, if they are like this business owner. But it's more so they want to make sure that the work gets done, and they want to make sure that they're respected, and they want to make sure that you know, they don't have people calling out sick every week, because that's gonna, you know, when they're not really sick, obviously. they don't want people coming in 2 hours late to work every day. Like they don't tolerate that kind of thing. They don't. They have very high standards for themselves, and they have very high standards for the people who are working for them, and honestly other people in their lives. And it's because they know what they deserve, and also they put 110% into everything that they do, so they expect that back. Like they really do. That's just how they come across. I feel like they're also very protective. They are so protective of everything they love, everything they've worked for, and I feel like they're going to be very protective over you as well as your marriage, okay? So if anybody said something even remotely negative about you or tried to attack your marriage or disparage you and your relationship in some way, they would come back full force. I think it wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna like physically like punch you or something like that, because the Sky King is very controlled, very poised, but he wouldn't give away his power like that. He's not impulsive, but he would verbally just take them down, like in a very, again, very articulate way, but no one would ever make that mistake twice. Let's put it that way. They would be put in their place. That's the energy that comes through with that. Now with Snail, I do feel like this is talking about the pace. I do think this is talking about the pace of the relationship. It may develop over time, and I don't think it's anything to do with like, oh, you're friends first or something like that. I feel like the attraction, the physical attraction is there like right off the bat. And I feel like they make their intentions towards you like pretty well known. They are very direct, but I think it's just more so that they are so busy. And you may be very busy as well, but they are so busy. So, and I feel like they're workaholics. So it may develop a bit more slowly just because they're so busy. Also with Snail, I also think of French food. So maybe at a French restaurant, I hope, I don't know, it just came up. Now with Ghost, a couple things. Typically with Ghost, I think of past life connection, and that could be why that physical attraction is so strong. But I also tend to sometimes think of this as an ex, but if that's not resonating, that's not resonating. We haven't gotten any other cards to indicate that this is an ex or a past partner, so I don't know why I always do that. I say ex or past partner as if that's not the same thing. But anyway, we haven't gotten any other cards to indicate that, but if you're hoping for an ex to come back, then I guess this could be your card of confirmation. But I think for a lot of you, this may come off as a bit odd, but Ghost is making me think of a place that you used to really enjoy going to that you haven't been to in a really long time. Like, maybe you really, really loved a certain vacation spot, or you really loved a certain restaurant, or maybe you really love the salad bar at this grocery store. Like, it could be so random, and you haven't been there or had that in a really long time, and then all of a sudden one day you get a craving for it, and then you go to that location, and that's where you meet your future spouse. And not necessarily like if you really loved a restaurant, you go there and it's their restaurant. It could be even that the business you liked has gone out of business and they took it over and now it's their restaurant. Or maybe they're traveling on business and they just happen to be there and that's how you guys meet. Could be also making me think that maybe you all are, because I do think that either they're traveling and you meet them when they're traveling and they happen to be in like your city or town, whatever, or it could be that you guys do live in the same place with Ghost, but you guys frequent the same places but not at the same time. Like, they shop at the same grocery store that you shop at. You guys just have either been on separate sides of the store, or you guys have been there at different times. Or like your favorite restaurant is their favorite restaurant, but they go at a different time than you. Like it's like a ghost. Like, we're just barely missing each other. That's coming through with this card. Which I know is like, are you serious? But that's the message. I'm sorry, don't be mad. That was the message that came through. Okay. Now, with Eel, yeah, I'm not really getting a whole lot more with Eel other than, and this may be because of this ghost card being next to it, I kind of imagine Eel as being very slippery. Like, this looks like if you tried to hold it, he would just like try to get out of your hand. It's so weird. It makes me feel like you guys are like so close to meeting each other, but then just barely missing each other. Like, you were almost there, but I missed you. But you're not, you don't know you're missing them, but you are. That's a frustrating energy. It really is. I'm sorry. Okay. What was I gonna do next? Okay. Feels like we're moving through your reading pretty fast. Oh, I remember now. I knew I was missing something. Okay, let's find out some months of the year when this could happen. Months of the year for pile 3 where they can meet their future spouse. So we have December. We have August. This is my birth month. Love that. And we have October. So August, I mean, isn't too far away. So you've got summer, fall, and winter there. Bottom of the deck, we have November, so 2 months there for the fall. Now, if you're looking at these and August is just really calling to you, then you can claim that message. If you want to claim all of them, feel free to. You know, like maybe December is resonating with you for some reason, then that's your message, you know, and these are meant for somebody else. So always take what resonates. I'll say it 1,000 more times. Okay, let's find out who your future spouse is. Let's get some more clues. I feel like in your group, we found out a lot about your future spouse's personality, more than maybe the other groups. Okay, pile 3. What is their future spouse like? What should pile 3 know about their future spouse, please, Spirit? Their future spouse. Okay, let's see. They adore you. They ought to. Okay. They are successful in their career. Okay, we've only said it like 1,000 times, so I'm really glad that we got that confirmation. They are an optimist. I feel like you have to have that visionary kind of mindset, you know, especially if they're a business owner. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. They're a good cook. Shut up. We have successful in career and good cook. Okay, they could really own a restaurant. That could really be a possibility, y'all. Oh, man. This is wild. Okay. They could have curly or textured hair. And let's see, what's this say? They love music. They could also be a musician. That could be something that they really enjoy doing when that could be where that 5th house is coming in. Maybe that's how they share, that's their creative side. That's how when they do have downtime, maybe they really love making music. Okay, so let's see. Let's just end with a comfort message from the universe. And that will be all of your reading. I don't feel like I need to explain a lot of this too much. Yeah. All right, pile 3, comfort message from Spirit. These are new cards, so they're still kind of stiff and they're also large, so be a little patient with me, guys. It may take us a second. Of course, as soon as I say that, your card flies out. Okay, you got, ooh, Our Lady of Passion. Okay. I like that this came out because I feel like we got so many career messages about you two really being a power couple. It's nice to see this at the conclusion of the reading because it's like, yes, that's going to be an important area of your life and their life, but make no mistake, there's so much passion and attraction in this connection. Like, don't feel like this is all going to be about work and money and status. This is going to be a true partnership. So I love that for you all. And I feel like too, if you've been in a situation where you have felt really down and sort of like life is colorless. I think that when this person enters your life, it's really gonna feel like everything is in color again. I think it's gonna be, because I think it's gonna be really rejuvenating for the both of you, you know, because I feel like for them, there's definitely been a lack of fun. And I think this is like that fifth house energy again coming through of like, you guys are going to have some really great times together. And if you also feel like you've been all work and no play, it's going to balance out. It's going to balance out. Okay, so this was your reading, pile 3. I hope it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. Please take care, pile 3. All right, on my pile 4s, if you chose the silver kitty cat, let's find out how you'll be meeting your future spouse. So we have, they could be a public figure. Now, with public figure, this could be someone who is well known in some way. Like, this is someone who maybe has like a little blue check mark on social media. Maybe they have some sort of job where they're really well known in their field. Sorry, my cat has the zoomies, but if you guys hear her in the background, it could be someone who, like even like if they're a teaching assistant in graduate school and you're a grad student and they teach classes in English and some of your friends are, you know, in the English program in grad school, something like that. Like they're just well known, maybe just in your circle, or it could be they're well known in their field, within their career, or maybe through social media, but they're a public figure in some way. It doesn't mean that necessarily like you're gonna marry someone super famous, okay? All right, so they could be a healthcare worker. They could be in the military, or maybe you're in the military and, you know, like maybe they are, you know, a higher rank than you or something. I'm not exactly sure how that works within the military, but that could be why they're a public figure, like they're well known. Okay, and just take what resonates. You know, this isn't obviously going to be for all of you who picked this pile. Okay, we have online dating app, social media. We have an academic setting, library, class, dining hall, study group. So that could be, like I said, like maybe they are a professor on a college campus or like a teaching assistant and they're well known, something like that. We have work or hobby, interest related, convention. Okay, yeah. So like I said, like maybe they are speaking at a convention and they're really known in your field and that's how you meet, something like that. By the way, when I say like maybe they're well known on a college campus, like a professor or a TA, I'm not encouraging like student-professor relationships or something like that. I mean, this is just what's coming up as an example. Like maybe they're a teaching assistant in an entirely different major, you know, on your campus. Maybe they've never been your TA. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Could be too that you guys are in the same grad program. Yeah, there are a lot of examples that could come up with this. So, you know, just you know, if you think of something while you're looking at these cards, maybe that's a specific message for you. So we have library. So that goes really well with academic setting too. And then we have workplace romance. Yeah. And that could be why they're a public figure. Like I said, like maybe they're just well known amongst the people that you interact with, you know? Okay, so like I said, if you want to, you know, like take a screenshot of these or write them down, feel free to do so. I'm gonna put these away so we can get into the cards and we'll have more free space, but if you need to take a moment and pause the video, you can go ahead and do that, but I'm gonna take these away now. Yeah, your group is a little bit more of a mixed bag than some of the other piles. Some of the other piles were like very straightforward, so I feel like we're gonna get a lot of different messages from your cards, so I'm just gonna do the best I can to give like all possibilities for my group 4s. And when I think of 4 too, I think of self-discipline and like routine and stability. So that makes sense that you guys got academic setting, or they're a public figure, so they're really well known maybe in their field, or you know, like a academic setting. Like that makes sense. So that could also be like, if those messages were resonating with you, that could be like an additional confirmation for you that you picked the right group, since you did pick number 4. Okay, so pile 4. What are the circumstances, please, Spirit? When, how did they meet their future spouse? Where and how do they meet their future spouse? Pile 4. What are the circumstances around this meeting for pile 4? Ooh, we have the Sun, the Fire Queen. So double Leo energy already. Okay, we have the Fool, which is the cat in this deck. Sky Tom. This is the Knight of Swords in this deck. Ooh, we've also got the King of Cups, the Sea King. Ooh, and the High Priestess. Okay, these two, I believe, came out in a different pile. I can't remember which pile. I want to say maybe it was pile 2, but I can't remember. Okay, bottom of the deck here, we have the 5 of Pentacles, or the 5 of Earth. So a couple different things with you guys already. Like I said, you're definitely a mixed group. So let's talk about the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 court cards, okay? And even this one, even though it's a major arcana card, it still is featuring like one type of person, like one single energy here. Like the Fool is like that idealistic, optimistic, happy-go-lucky, just gonna leap forward into the unknown and not think twice about it. I'm just gonna act before I think, you know, I'm just gonna put my best foot forward and hope it all works out. Like, I'm just gonna trust, I'm gonna have faith, I'm gonna be optimistic, and, you know, whatever happens, happens, but I'm going for it. So, like, that paired with the Sun here, like, this person is coming into your life definitely at a time when you feel a lot more optimistic about love, when you feel even just about your life in general. Like, there's a sense of hope here, a sense of like, okay, I finally have cleared out this past energy of feeling like left out in the cold, feeling very alone, feeling like I'm misunderstood, or no one is really trying to lend a helping hand to me. I feel very isolated. I feel just the sense of loneliness and literally being out in the cold, you know? Because usually, given that this is a love reading, I'm not really reading the financial message that typically comes with this card, although could be that you're also having some financial struggles that you've had to go through. But I think more so with this card in the context of this reading, it's really talking about seeing someone else be like warm and happy and cozy and in love and comforted, you know, and then feeling like you have nothing, you know, and like it's like you're so close to love. There could be a lot of like happy couples around you, or even just like seeing other people out and about and you feel so alone. I feel like this is the energy that you've worked through, that you're no longer in this space. And it could be your future spouse also goes through this. But I do feel like this is more so your energy, that maybe you've had some heartbreak or some hurt in the past, even if it was from family or friends, that you really had to work through. And then once you step into this energy, you've cleared this out, you've healed this, you've dealt with it. You know, this cat and this cat are having two very different experiences, right? Like this cat is alone, just like this cat, but this cat is feeling out in the cold. And so it's like winter has passed and now you're stepping into spring. Like look at all of these flowers that are growing. Like there's so much lush, like abundance, like the sun has returned. It's a new season. It's a time, like it makes me think of springtime, really. Like this is a time for optimism, for hope. Like spring is sort of that energy of the Fool, you know, like stepping into a new year, because if you think about it, the new year really kind of starts with Aries season. And I do think of Aries when I think of the Fool because it's the first card in the tarot, and Aries is the first zodiac sign in the wheel. So I do think of it as like kicking off that new season. Like the real new year starts in the spring. That just makes more sense, right, than the middle of winter. But yeah, so that's what it feels like. So you could be definitely, I would say, meeting your future spouse in the springtime, but we will also get specific months of the year and see if we can get a confirmation on that. It's going to vary definitely since it's a general reading, but I am seeing potentially spring or summer, but definitely spring. But I feel like you're just going to be embodying that energy when your future spouse comes in. You're going to feel a lot more hopeful and optimistic. So if you still feel like you're in this energy, you probably do have a ways to go, at least energetically, before you meet this person. Okay, now let's talk about again that we have so many cards here that are they're depicting cats, but you know, in your life there'll be people. So we have the Fire Queen, we've got Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and then so I feel like Leo and Aries are also echoed here. And then we have the High Priestess, and then we have the Sea King, which Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and the High Priestess also makes me think of Pisces. And then we also have air energy. We've got Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So I kind of feel like a couple different things. It could be that you are in a public setting when you encounter your future spouse. I almost said soulmate. So that could be like you're around your classmates and this person also goes to the same university as you, and maybe you're in your study group at your university library and you see them across the room. So there are a lot of other people present. So maybe you're like, oh, that High Priestess is definitely me, and that Fire Queen is definitely my best friend. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of identify maybe who some of these characters are in your life, or this could just be representing that there's a pretty diverse group of people around you, because there were a lot of zodiac signs I just named, and when we have every zodiac I guess modality except for earth signs. We're missing Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus from this so far. We may get it later, but so far almost the entire 75%, right, of like the zodiac wheel is being represented here. So a good chunk of people could be a good chunk of people. a good number of people could be around. Also, I feel like because we got public figure, that could also be echoing the idea that there are a lot of people who know your future spouse. They're very well known, and you guys also got online dating, so that makes sense. Like there would be a lot of different people on the app. So I feel like that's also good confirmation there. I would say also too, with this High Priestess card, makes me feel like there's going to be a deep sense of knowing here. Like especially if you identify with this High Priestess energy, there's going to be this sort of feeling of like when you see them, you know, and it's not maybe not necessarily like love at first sight. We'll see as we get into the cards, but it's more so like there's just this gut feeling like this person is important. This person is going to play a big role in my life. Like you kind of just know that you know, something in your intuition and your subconscious is like, this is it, this is it, this is it. And so even if you're not consciously registering it, you're just getting this feeling of like, this is significant, this is a moment that I'm going to remember. And honestly, like, given that we have so many like court cards that are present here, it's kind of like a mixed bag, right? Like your future spouse could be any one of these people. So let's get into some more cards, but this kind of just makes me feel like there's going to be a lot going on. Now, it's not like pile 1 really, where it was like a lot of chaos going on, just more so like there's a lot of people, but I'm not picking up anything that is really showing like a lot of excitement necessarily. Like this sky tom looks pretty intense, and I know there's fireworks around this fire queen, so that could be like, you know, you see stars when you look at them kind of thing, but these are also two very calm energies, so yeah. This could also be depicting like two different sides to your personality and theirs, because like maybe you identify with the high priestess and the fire queen, and maybe they're represented by the sea king and the sky tom. Like they're really great speakers, but they're also really emotionally intelligent, you know? So there could be like two different sides to their personality and two different sides to yours. So just take whichever message resonates, really. Okay, let's get some zodiac signs, some significant houses. What are the astrological messages, please, Spirit, that will help us understand the where and the how, the circumstances around pile 4, meeting their future spouse, pile 4, meeting their future spouse, pile 4. Okay, we got Neptune, we've got dreams. This to me is echoing that High Priestess card. We've got the first house of self, so this is echoing Aries. We've got Libra. Oh, we got 2 cards, that's okay. Okay, we've got 4th house, Cancer, and we've got Scorpio. So we've got 1, 2, yeah, we've got 3 more water, we've got fire again, and we've got air, so still no earth energy. And then we've got Aquarius on the bottom here with revolution, Uranus. So yes, I'm not seeing any any indication of an earth sign here, okay? Now, I feel like a couple different things. With this 4th house roots card, I kind of feel like that's calling back to this idea that this person is going to immediately feel like home, and that's where that intuition is kicking in. Like this person feels significant. They feel like maybe someone I've met before. There's this instant sense of comfort there. I think even amongst like all these other people and all these other energies, this is the person that grabs your attention, and that you don't know why, but again, there's that immediate sense of comfort. And I feel like too, like again, like we just have so many different energies that are around. This could be that a lot of people have a lot of opinions about this connection. And especially too, if this person is really well known, like, you know, in their field or like amongst your circle, like people know who this person is. They could have a lot of opinions about it, right? Like a lot of unsolicited advice you could be getting from your friends, from your coworkers. A lot of people could have, like I said, a lot of opinions about this, and that could make it a little bit difficult. But I mean, you have the sign here of passion, of like that sexual energy, and then you have the sign of love and attraction and beauty. So you've got Venus energy and you've got Mars energy, the 2 planets of love. So I feel like there's definitely an instant attraction, but it's more than just physical. You know, it's more than just an immediate sense of romance. It's that Cancer energy, that deep emotional connection, that deep sense of belonging, of like finding, it's like you found your home in the world and it's this space you share with this person. That kind of feeling. And also I would say too, with this first house, I kind of get the feeling, again, because we had so many court cards and we had the High Priestess, when you're with this person, they could bring out different sides of you that maybe you've never explored before. So maybe you do identify with this Fire Queen a lot, but this person brings out the High Priestess in you. You know, they make you believe in love. They restore your faith and love and your intuition. And maybe they also bring out this softer, like Sea King side to you where, you know, you feel really emotionally connected, whereas before you felt really disconnected. So could be that they bring out different sides to you and you bring out different sides to them. I feel like there's a lot of personal development that comes across because of this connection. And then we have Neptune dreams. You could dream about this person before you meet them, but I feel like for your reading in particular, it almost seems like you dream about this meeting before you actually connect with them. Like maybe you have just this weird dream of being in the library, or you have this recurring dream for some odd reason where you know, like you keep finding yourself at work, or you keep finding yourself at this lecture and you're like, what lecture? And then a couple months after you have that dream, your boss is telling you you have to go to this convention, and you go there and your future spouse is a speaker. You know, something like that. Maybe there's a training course at your job and a specialist comes in and your future spouse ends up being that specialist. Something like that I think is also possible. And it makes sense too, like if you resonated with the online dating app thing, could be that, you know, if you're looking at someone online, like typically like you show your friends like, oh, look at this guy's profile, like what do you think about them? So that could be why too, like we had so many different energies of a lot of people giving opinions about this. And also, given that we have Aquarius here, I do think of technology. So you could see this person online, especially if they're big on social media. You could see this person online before you actually encounter them in person. So like I said, you guys are a pretty mixed group. We have a lot of stuff going on here. So if something's not resonating, just leave it. Okay, so let's see. Now, this deck's going to be a little bit different. We're going to try to find out if there are certain objects that can give us clues about the circumstances of this meeting. So some objects and symbols, please, Spirit, to give us clues about Pile 4's first meeting with their future spouse, their first interaction with their future spouse. Pile 4. Also, if you connect with them online, there could be a lot of daydreaming going on about like what it'll be like when you guys, you know, do meet in person. Okay, I'm only taking this card. Pile 4. Okay, bottom of the deck we have white dress, so I feel like that's just Spirit reassuring you that there is a person out there for you. You are going to get married, so if some of you are doubting that, that's just a nice little comfort message from Spirit. Okay, so I actually want to start with this toad because it's making me think of this 5 of Earth that we had in the very beginning where I said I feel like you've had your heart broken or your trust broken. People haven't respected your boundaries. They've taken advantage of you. You know, that feeling of isolation and loneliness. With this toad, it makes me feel like kind of like you kissed a lot of frogs before you meet your future spouse. You know, you've encountered some frogs. You've encountered, or a toad, but it just makes me think of frogs. And like, you know that expression, like you kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince. That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting with Toad. But also, like, we have 3 nature cards, so it could be outside, like, you know, like if you're on a college campus and you're on the quad, you could be outside studying and this person is walking from the library and you run into each other, that kind of thing. Or, you know, like if you're online dating and then you meet up in person and you want to meet in a public space, you go for coffee and then you go for a walk in the park, that could be symbolizing that as well. So maybe something also outdoors. I mean, we did get this garden scene with the Fool, and then we also got the sun, so that wouldn't surprise me either if there was some part that sort of, you know, led to you being out in nature a little bit. I would say also with the mushrooms, it's making me think of psychedelics, and I just think of Pisces and dreams and that Neptune kind of energy. So I feel like there's something here that feels like this is the person of my dreams. This feels too good to be true. It feels like I can't believe someone like this is interested in me, especially if you've been hurt in the past. That could have been a knock to your self-esteem. And if they're a public figure and someone who's like really well known and respected, or just really popular, someone who's really well liked, that could be a bit intimidating. So there could be an element of that as well. And I think it also with this praying mantis is making me feel like there's a lot of competition. A lot of people could be wanting this person's attention, and obviously, like, you marry them, so you're the one who wins out in the end, but it does feel like there are other people, and it could be too, remember how I said people will have a lot of opinions? Could be too that people are trying to cast doubt, or, you know, just being really judgmental and sort of preying on the relationship a bit, like, look at how the praying mantis is like kind of creeping along there. Kind of feels like people are maybe not as supportive as they should be of this connection, and that's likely out of jealousy or insecurity, you know, projecting that onto the connection. Now with doll, I do think of like, it kind of reminds me of that Taylor Swift song where she says like, I know this is delicate. Like there may be this feeling in the beginning of like trying to be like a porcelain doll, like handling it with care, like being a bit cautious, maybe feeling like this is too good to be true, I can't believe this person is interested in me, or maybe that's just residual insecurity, you know, if you've had your heart broken before, maybe it gets triggered by this person, but I also feel like this is symbolizing attractiveness, like they would view you as like, you know, not in like a not in a how do I put this, not in a I value you only for your physical looks, because we did have the 4th house, so there is a lot of emotional connection there, but more so like you are exactly my type, like you physically, like I am immediately attracted to you, you know, because you can fall for people for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's in the way they speak, in the way that they are, and how kind they are, how sweet they are, how smart they are, how funny they are. You know, you can fall for people who aren't your usual type, but I do feel like your future spouse views you as their type, and I think you're going to be very physically attracted to them as well, because we did get Libra, so I feel like there's a lot of mutual attraction there with that Venus energy coming through, as well as Scorpio and Mars. Okay, so let's actually get your months of the year next. So we were thinking possibly spring. Let's see what else we have. Pile 4. Please, Spirit, what months are they likely to meet their future spouse? Please, Spirit, months they are likely to meet their future spouse. So we have July, so summer, and we did have the sun card, so that makes sense. Pile 4. We have June, okay. And we have March. Let's see, bottom of the deck we have September. Wow, those are all pretty close together. So yeah, I mean, it'll depend exactly. So really you're kind of looking at, I think March is still winter. So depending on where you're at in the world, late winter, maybe early spring. I can't remember. I think spring starts in April. Yes, right? Maybe late spring, summer, basically almost all of summer. You missed August. Yeah, maybe early fall. So kind of basically like the middle of the year is when you're looking at potentially meeting this person, again, depending on where you live in the world. Okay, so let's get some traits. Who is pile 4's future spouse, please, Spirit? Who is pile 4's future spouse? What do we need to know about them? Okay. They're an animal lover. They have pets. Their love language is words of affirmation. Okay, I'm sorry. It's taking me a minute. Okay, they like to travel. That would make sense if they're well known. They know a lot of people. They could be younger than you. And with travel, that could just mean that they've moved around a lot. It doesn't mean right now that they're actively traveling, but they could travel for work. Okay, they are messy and disorganized. Not everything is going to be super positive, right? They have straight hair. They are well-dressed and stylish. They're empathetic, and they could have blonde hair. So all of these are more specific messages. You know, if something doesn't resonate, then just leave it. Let's try to find out, actually, I'm gonna clear these away so the papers don't fall all over the place. But let's find out some potential careers for your future spouse, actually. So pile 4's future spouse, what do they do for work, please, Spirit? What do they do for work? So not all of you are going to marry someone who has the exact same job, so we're going to pull a couple cards here. Pile 4, what does their future spouse do for work? Pile 4. That was way too many cards. Pile 4, please, Spirit. What do they do for work? What do they do for work, please, Spirit? Okay, I just want to address this really quickly. With this let go and you're on the right path, especially with them coming out right next to each other, this makes me feel like they had some sort of big career change in their life. So at one point they were doing something that did not resonate with them, and then they had to switch career paths, and they are now on the right path. And with this justice card, they could be doing something within the criminal justice system. They could also just be doing some sort of like advocacy work. Think like social workers doing like macro level practice, or you know, someone working in politics, advocating for people. Yeah, something with justice, truth, and fairness is, so also within the criminal justice system, they could be, you know, a probation officer, they could be a lawyer, they could be a paralegal. You know, there's so many jobs, right, within the justice system that they could be doing. They could also work for a nonprofit, or maybe they lead a nonprofit. They could be a professor of law. So we've got spiritual teacher. So this could be anyone who teaches a spiritual class. This could be like a yoga instructor. This could be a tarot card reader. Okay, body work. So they could do massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. I also think of like a tattoo artist when I see that. This could also be like a life coach. I kind of get life coach vibes from spiritual teacher. Okay, I feel like this person has overcome a lot of challenges. I feel like they're really inspiring to other people. Your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. So maybe they work with kids in some capacity. Could also be for those of you who are hoping to have kids with your future spouse. This is a message saying that, you know, you likely will. Okay, and they had to go to school, or maybe they're currently in school, but there was some sort of studying that was involved with them and their career path. So likely when they had that big career change, they had to maybe go back to college, or they had to take some sort of training course, or just educate themselves and, you know, how to make this career shift, I should say. Okay, so now we're just going to end with a comforting message from Spirit. Comforting message from Spirit for pile 4 to end the reading. Ooh, Our Lady of Soul Birth. This is a stunning card. I feel like you've had a lot of like, just a lot of like fire, yellow, sunshine, optimism, happiness, sense of like hopefulness. I always associate the color yellow with hope. I don't know why. Maybe that's a thing, maybe it's not. But I feel like there's this energy of the sun coming back into your life when this person enters, or even like I said, right before this person comes back into your life. There's this feeling of transformation, of the sun coming in, of a new season, a new cycle, a fresh start, a new chapter of your life, a closing out of the old, letting go, healing from the past. I feel like there's also soul birth again, like if you're really wanting to have kids with this person, that could be confirmation. Could be too that your kids end up doing something really significant in the world, but yeah, I feel like this is a rebirth, a renewal in your life. Yeah, I feel like it's just asking you to keep that optimism going, keep that sense of hope for the future, because the future is bright. Okay, pile 4, this was your reading. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And I will see you in my next one. Take care, pile 4. All right, all my pile 5s who chose the black kitty cat, welcome to your reading. So let's find out how you'll be meeting your future spouse. Okay, so we have healthcare related, dentist or doctor's office. This could be a lot of things. I mean, this could be the hospital, physical therapist, you're going for a massage, and as you're leaving, you run into this person. I would even say like the veterinarian's office could be a possibility. So we have hair salon. We have via a shared hobby or interest. So like for me, for example, I love to read. So this to me, if I were watching this pile, I would say, oh, like a bookstore, you know, a library, something like that. While you're doing errands, yeah, that makes sense. Like you're going to the dentist, you're going to get your hair cut. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. While you're shopping at the store, yeah, doing errands. So think like maybe the grocery store, parking lot. So maybe you run into this person while you're in the parking lot while you're running errands. So these were the possibilities for pile 5. So if you want to screenshot this, or if you have a piece of paper and you want to write it down really fast, go ahead and pause the video and do that, but I'm going to clear these away so we can get into your cards. Okay, so really while you're out and about, and I know that's not, maybe that's not super romantic pile 5, but I mean, hey, I knew a girl once who got engaged and got married to someone who they met at Bojangles. So she would always be like, love can happen anywhere, y'all, even at the bow times. So yes, that could be a possibility. Just while you're out and about doing your errands, doing your normal routine stuff, you run into this person. And that makes sense because 5 is a card about movement, you know, travel, change, but also like short-term travel. So yes, while you're out and about, while you're moving, while you're doing something, that's when you meet this person. Okay. And if one of those like cards in particular, like you're like, I don't know why I'm so drawn to the hair salon card, then that could be like your message. Okay, pile 5. Where, how, what are the circumstances around this first meeting with pile 5's future spouse, please, Spirit? Pile 5's future spouse. Where, how are they meeting their future spouse? What are the circumstances around this first meeting, please, Spirit? Your future spouse's higher self is also welcome to come through. And I'll say a big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. So pile 5. Pile 5. So we've got the 8 of Sky or the 8 of Swords here. We've got the Empress. We have the 4 of Earth or the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Ace of Cups. We have the 4 of Wands or the 4 of Fire. And we have the 8 of Sea or the 8 of Cups. Okay, bottom of the deck here we have the Hermit, which also in this particular deck with all of the pomegranates, I really think of the High Priestess every time I look at this card. Okay. So a couple things I will say with this Hermit card and looking at the pomegranates, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the myth of Hades and Persephone. You can Google it, but there's this idea that Persephone was, I forget which goddess she was the daughter of, but basically her mother was the goddess of like harvest, and she was what brought warmth and food, the summer and spring seasons. Like she brought that to the world. So when her daughter got taken by Hades, she was in search of her daughter for the longest time. So that's why we have fall and winter, because the earth was barren. This goddess was missing. She was upset. She wanted her daughter. And so basically was either looking for her daughter or heartbroken and sad. And so the crops were dying and the frost was killing everything. And this is why we have, the fall and the winter time. So when her daughter was returned to her, Hades said, well, she can come back, but only if she hasn't eaten anything while she was in the underworld, because Hades rules the underworld, the dead. And so she had taken a bite of pomegranate. She had eaten the pomegranate seeds. So therefore, she has to spend half of her life, or half of her time, I should say, half of her time in the year has to be spent in the underworld with Hades, and half of her life, or half of her time, I keep saying life, half of her time is spent with her mother again. And so that's why we have the seasons. So this whole explanation, this whole explanation is just for me to say, possibly with this Hermit card, gives me this idea that you may end up meeting your future spouse right on the cusp of a season change. So maybe think like in between like fall and winter, or in between spring and summer. because there feels like this kind of idea of a transition, of a move. So you meet them like right as the seasons are changing. So in between two different seasons, I feel like that's when you're going to meet them. And I feel like also could be for some of you, maybe some people in your life think that your future spouse is an odd choice for you, or they maybe don't approve for some reason. Because if I think of Hades and Persephone together, like obviously her mother disapproved of that. So maybe there's this feeling of not everyone is super supportive of this connection, or maybe not everyone gets it, or they think, really, you're going for that person? That person's not your usual type. So there could be an energy of that. But I do feel like when you meet your future spouse, you're in this hermit energy. You're in this mode of like really being alone, being self-reflective. You can really identify what your needs are. You know, you've really worked on yourself. You're at a really good spot in your life, and this is Virgo energy as well. Okay, so could be that you're in like your personal year 7 if you're familiar with numerology when you meet your future spouse. Now, it's interesting too, you have double 8s here. You have the eight of swords and the 8 of cups. So this makes me feel like this is at a time in your life where you're leaving something behind. You're leaving behind something that's no longer serving you, and you're hoping for something better. And I feel like it was something that for a while there, you had trapped yourself. You know, this is a self-imposed prison. You could easily get out of this if you chose to. If you stopped panicking like this cat and you calmed down, you could see that you could probably easily get yourself out of this. And I feel like the panic comes from like really being overly emotionally attached to your comfort zone. And so you're not moving, but you're not necessarily happy where you're at, and clinging to what maybe made you happy in the past. And it's like, even though I'm not happy now, I'm still clinging to it because it's the devil that I know, you know, that fear of change, that fear of uncertainty. But you do eventually leave it behind. And I feel like that clearing out of space allows for your future spouse to come in. Now, another message that I'm getting with this is that your future spouse has really been building up their own wealth when you meet them. Like they're really focusing on growing in their career, growing in their status. So maybe you meet them when they're saving up to buy a new house, or they're saving up to buy a new car, or they just got a promotion. There's something there about them really trying to build a solid foundation and elevate themselves. And I will say too, like Ace of Cups here, this is likely someone, especially given like the cards that you had seem to indicate like a random encounter with someone. So I do think your future spouse is likely someone that you haven't met yet. This is a new love. And I feel like especially too with these 2 8s here, thinking of a fresh start, thinking of walking away from something that was making you feel trapped, something that was making you feel dissatisfied before, and you had to do some deep inner work and figure this out. And also too here, the 4 of Fire, so this is also the card of celebration. This is the card of marriage, so that's confirmation for some of you guys who are maybe feeling down on love right now. This is confirmation that you are going to get married to this person. And I feel like too, with all the rainbows that are here, it's also giving me 10 of Cups vibes, but it's really just this good energy of like, I mean, to have a card of celebration when you've had this isolation and this loneliness and this dissatisfaction and this feeling of, I don't like my current circumstances, so I'm going to withdraw from the world and just focus on myself because what is surrounding me currently is not serving me. To come out of that energy and to have this celebration here makes me feel like this person is really going to get you out of this Hermit card energy. They're really going to get you out of your shell, and you are probably going to help them with like that workaholic kind of tendency that I think that they have. Okay, now with this Empress card, I kind of get this feeling that if you felt trapped, if you felt stuck, this is also giving me a little bit of Magician card vibes. just within the context of this reading, it kind of makes me feel like, yeah, maybe physically you couldn't do anything to change your situation, but energetically you did do something to change your situation, because you are creation itself. Like, you're the magician. You can use the law of attraction. You can ask for help from your guides. You know, you can create anything. You're the empress. You know, you can create a life that you want to create by building off of that magician card, because you've already mastered that energy. Now you're in the empress. You know, the empress is later in the major arcana. So it kind of just echoes that energy to me. I'm, again, not sure why. It just did. But I feel like also this is a card of fertility. I mean, you can see her literally feeding her kittens here. So not only can she take care of herself, but she can also take care of those that depend upon her. So I feel like this is a really beautiful energy too. If you're hoping to have children, this could be confirmation that you will be having children with your future spouse. But I also feel like it just, again, points to that infinite abundance that already exists within you, that you just have to call upon that Empress energy and bring her forth. And you can get yourself out of this situation just by asking for help from your guides and really using the law of attraction to your advantage. And especially too, like this sort of random encounter, like you just encounter them while you're doing your errands. Of course that feels like divine timing. Of course that feels like the law of attraction. Like, this person in this parking lot is my future spouse. Like, wow, I manifested that, you know, because it is so random. It's like a chance encounter. Okay, let's get some more information. So pile 5, where and how are they meeting their future spouse? I will say too, with the way all these like goods are, all those cat toys are like piled up behind that cat, makes me feel like maybe you're out shopping and like you're carrying all these bags, and so maybe your future spouse sees you and is like, hey, like, do you need help getting to your car? So it could be something like that. Okay, pile 5. Oh wow, that came out really fast. Pile 5, where, how, what are the circumstances for how they meet their future spouse? Pile 5. Ooh. Okay, bottom of, this isn't your bottom of the deck, this is another card that came out, ignore me. This is your bottom of the deck. We have Aquarius. So we have Aquarius and Leo. So these are opposite signs on the zodiac. So these could be potential signs. So like if you are a Leo, maybe your future spouse is this Aquarius energy. Could be too that you guys just see each other as opposites. Like, this person is so different than me, but we also have, you know, like these are like mirrored energies. You know, it's not like you're completely different. It's just more so like you're the same image but reversed. So literally, like, you're made from the same stuff, but it's expressed in the opposite way. So like Leo is very focused on the self, Aquarius is very focused on the group, but yet these are both very confident energies. They're just expressed differently. So Aquarius, I always get like friend energy, like this person would be a great friend, someone who's very loyal, someone who has unique ideas, someone who's not afraid to be weird or different. So they're very confident in that way, like they really value individuality. This person is really confident too, but they are a little bit more dependent upon other people noticing them, right? So this is like playful, creative, expressive energy. Honestly, the Leo and the Empress really connect a lot with me, because with Leo, I think of the 5th house of creativity and children. The Empress, I think of creation itself. I do think of children because the Empress represents fertility. So if you resonate with that Empress and that Leo energy, then likely your future spouse is represented by that Aquarius energy. But we also had Virgo, right? We really have Virgo twice with the Hermit and the 6th house. So you could also, either you or your future spouse, I think you maybe have some Virgo qualities about you. Maybe your Venus or your Mars is in Virgo. That could be a possibility, or your moon. But yes, so someone here likes to be the center of attention, is very playful, generous, loving, optimistic, happy-go-lucky, Little Miss Sunshine is how I think of Leo. I'm a Leo myself. But yeah, so definitely that energy coming through. And it makes sense too, because I feel like Leo and Aquarius, like Aquarius wouldn't be afraid to approach somebody, and Leo would be confident and friendly enough to be approachable. Like Leos are so, like, just friendly and nice, and generally speaking, of course. So yes, I also feel like with this Chiron card, this is really echoing back to that Hermit energy and the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords. So I feel like this person comes into your life at a time where you have really done some immense healing. You've done a lot of releasing, which, in the process of law of attraction, that's kind of a necessary step. If you're carrying all this baggage from the past, it's going to make it really hard to welcome in new energy. So I feel like you have healed some deep emotional wound, likely from childhood, because Chiron kind of talks about our first big heartbreak, our deepest wound, our first wound. So even if you were healing from a recent breakup, that breakup could have triggered some deep wounds from childhood of feeling unlovable, of feeling worthless, of feeling undesirable, like you're not good enough, basically. And so those limiting beliefs you would have healed, you would have released, you would understand where they come from and say, okay, I understand this now, and sort of that integration of your shadow self. I also feel like with sixth house, this is the house of routine. So like if this is literally saying, like, while you're going about your normal routine, while you're running your typical errands, this is confirmation, a huge confirmation, that this is when you'll be meeting this person, okay? It could also be a sign that maybe your future spouse is really into wellness, like holistic wellness, is really into, maybe they're a really structured person, they have their typical routine, or maybe this is you. With the Hermit card here, if you are identifying with that energy, then this could be talking about you and how you are, but very organized and very detail-oriented, focused on health. This also talks about work, and Saturn to me also talks about work. So could be as well, maybe you're leaving from work, maybe you're running an errand, maybe you have to buy something for your office, and while you're out looking for office supplies, this is when you meet this person. Or with work too, like maybe you meet them when you're coming out of the gym, And we did have a lot about wellness and health and fitness, and we also said like physical therapy and massage therapy, so maybe you're doing something for your self-care when you meet this person. That could also be a possibility. Could be that you meet them through work, but we didn't really get a direct message about work, so I don't think it's that. If you were drawn to another group that specifically said work, then maybe take that as a yes, but otherwise I'm not really seeing that given the other cards that we had. And with this allowing card, this again makes me feel like the law of attraction, like, Spirit is granting this wish to you. Spirit is delivering this gift to you. This is something that you asked for. And so this future spouse is going to be a direct result of your own manifestation. And even if you're not consciously trying to use the law of attraction, we're constantly manifesting. So just by doing this healing work that you've been doing, and saying like, it would be nice to have somebody, but I don't need somebody, it would be nice. Even that in and of itself could be setting an intention for love to come in. Okay, let's get some more information here. So what are some objects or symbols that could be present when you are meeting your future spouse? Objects or symbols that could be present when you're meeting your future spouse. Pile 5, please, Spirit. Pile 5. Pile 5. Okay, with the noose, it's kind of a scary card. But with the Noose, I think of the Hanged Man, and I think of gaining a new perspective. And the Hanged Man and the Hermit card, I see them come out a lot together in readings. And I think it's because like when you're in that hermit energy, you are doing some deep, deep self-reflection and kind of like, you know, thinking about philosophy and what your values are and what your beliefs are, and like gaining like new knowledge about the world. And when you think about that and you think about the Hanged Man and gaining this new perspective, it goes really well, that energy, because the Hanged Man is also alone just like the Hermit. So it really sort of, you know, they kind of echo each other, or they pair really well together. So it could be that you're in that Hermit energy and your future spouse is actually in the Hanged Man energy. So you've done all this healing and they've gained a new perspective maybe on love. And this means that both of you are now at a position where you can, you know, like energetically you guys are in alignment and the universe is supporting this connection. Okay, I feel like with this braid card, they're really gonna, actually, we got hair salon in the beginning, so the kind of like, if I take this literally, maybe you just got a haircut when you meet this person. Like maybe you run into them at the salon or in the parking lot, or maybe you got your hair cut earlier in the day and then you're grocery shopping and you meet this person. So maybe you actually just got a haircut. I also feel like they are gonna make you feel a lot lighter, a lot happier, a lot more free-spirited, because the Hermit card can be kind of a deep energy. And so maybe they bring you more into this lighthearted sense, you know, that sense of celebration and fun. And you can literally let your hair down kind of thing, you know, that expression. I said literally, I meant metaphorically or maybe literally let your hair down. Okay, and then with the cat, this also Leo confirmation right there with the cat, but also, you know, cats are like in parking lots, you know, there are cats, like stray cats, street cats are everywhere. So like maybe you just see a cat and that's a confirmation on that day for you, like a little sign from spirit, like, oh, you see that stray cat walking, you're about to meet your future spouse in this parking lot. That could be a little message, a little clue for some of you that this person is almost in your life. Also though, I feel like with that Hermit card and now seeing the cat here and then Leo, it's like they really respect and value your independence. Like they like that about you. They like that you are sort of on your own and that you do your own thing and you follow your own heart and you do what feels right to you and you don't follow the crowd. Especially if they're in that Aquarius energy, they're gonna really respect that about you. They're gonna be very drawn to that, very attracted to that, because cats are very willful and they're very independent and they're gonna do what they want to do. So I feel like you have that energy. Also, again, with Leo, it's that confidence, that sense of self-assurance. You know, even if you don't feel that way inside, I think you project that energy outwards. Now with Knife, this makes me think like possibly you, again, like meet this person when you feel like you've been betrayed by a lot of people, that sort of knife in your back kind of thing, and you've had to heal that, you've had to work through that, and once you complete that healing, that's when this person comes in. Also with Knife, I kind of think like maybe you just had lunch, you know, especially if you're going to be going about your like daily routine or going about your like weekly errands. Maybe you stop off for lunch and you meet them at the restaurant, or you meet them as you're leaving, something like that. Okay, what are we doing now? Let's do the months. Okay, what are potential months, please, Spirit, for when Pile 5 can be meeting their future spouse? Pile 5. Pile 5. So we've got January. We've got July. July has been a popular month, I feel like. We've got May. Okay, so that could be really soon, depending upon when you're watching this video. Okay, bottom of the deck we have April. Okay, so this person could literally be right around the corner. Okay, so January, July, May, or April. And this could be talking about next May or next April. Feel free to claim whatever message you want to, or if you feel really drawn to one card, you can take that as your message. But also, if you want to write these down or screenshot these, you can go ahead and do so. But let's move on now to some clues about who your future spouse is. Who is Pile 5's future spouse, please, Spirit? Who is Pile 5's future spouse? Who is Pile 5's future spouse? Whoops. Okay. So they are very ambitious. I think I said that in the beginning, that they're like maybe workaholics, really focused on elevating their wealth. Not your usual type. I think I said that too in the beginning, also with like the Hades and Persephone story. Maybe people are like kind of surprised that you're going for this person. They're not typically who you date, or, you know, maybe some people in your life may not be super approving of this person. Okay, they could have brown eyes. They could have dark hair. I'm saying could because some of these may not apply to all of you because it is a general reading. Okay, very charming. They are career oriented. Yep. So double confirmation there that they're probably workaholics. Okay, and they could be thin. They could be on the thinner side. Okay, let's end with a message of comfort from your spirit guides. So let's just end with a comforting message from Spirit, please. Comforting message from Spirit to end the reading. Message of comfort, please, Spirit. Message of comfort for Pile 5. And I'm actually just going to move these over so they don't go flying everywhere. Okay, Pile 5. Oh, you got 2 cards. That's okay. We'll take them. If you're in that Hermit energy, or if you're still in the 8 of Swords or the 8 of Cups, you probably need all the comfort you can get. So we have Our Lady of Holy Fire and Our Lady of the Rose Crown. Okay, there was depictions of roses here. There was roses here. So, not surprised that you got Our Lady of the Rose Crown. This is really making me feel like stepping into that divine feminine energy, understanding that like you can literally grow your own garden. You are creation itself, like you have endless creativity and you can design the life that you want. Is sort of like encouraging you to continue to believe in this manifestation, like continue to have your hope. You know, like the law of attraction is working in your favor, so don't lose hope. I feel like is the message of comfort here with the Our Lady of the Rose Crown. It's really asking you to be in that energy. And then we have Our Lady of Holy Fire. So again, like that Leo energy, even if you're not a Leo, it's just really encouraging you to step into that energy. Like be open-hearted, be generous, be optimistic, really focus on your happiness, focus on your self-care, because Leo, I feel like, and this is not me bragging on us, but I feel like we understand you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you can say all day long I'm being selfish or self-absorbed for taking care of myself first and prioritizing myself, but I know in order to fully and truly give to others and be generous, because Leo is a very generous sign, in order to continue to give to other people like I do, in order for me to continue to shine this light and this warmth, this sun energy that I have to first take care of me. I can't pour from an empty cup. So I feel like they also want you to just really be in that Leo energy of taking care of yourself, giving to others, but with boundaries, and, you know, be optimistic, you know, sort of connect to that inner light, I think is the message. Okay, so Pile 5. This was your reading. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And I will see you guys in my next one. Take care. All right, last but not least, on my pile 6, who chose the green kitty cat, welcome to your reading. I feel like I've been through a marathon, so I'm not used to doing so many groups, so bear with me here. But let's find out how you'll be meeting your future spouse. So we have at a sports or gaming event. We have at a concert or play. In a movie theater. Outdoors, hike, park, beach, outdoor trail, lake. Or gym, fitness class, yoga class, or something related to this. So really like a public space, it looks like, either outdoors or, you know, at some sort of venue. So anything that comes to mind, you're like, oh, like I go to a yoga class every week. So maybe that's a good message for you. Or maybe you spend a lot of time outside and you frequently go on, you know, hikes or trails, or you live at the beach and you go to the beach a lot, or maybe you go to a lot of concerts. Then you can know that's likely your specific message, or maybe just one of these is calling to you. So if you want to take a moment, pause the video, screenshot these, or write them down, you can go ahead and do so, but I'm going to clear them away so we can get into your cards. Okay, so a lot of possibilities for you guys as well, because it could be too that the universe is setting up multiple opportunities for you to meet your future spouse, because you know, if this is like a divinely guided connection, it could be that they're setting up multiple opportunities for you to meet. So even if you miss each other for some reason, you've lost your chance, but you haven't missed your opportunity, if that makes sense. Okay, so pile 6, where and how are you going to meet your future spouse? Can we get some more clarity, some more information, please, Spirit? Pile 6, your future spouse's higher self is also welcome to come through. And a big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. What are the circumstances around this first meeting with pile 6 and their future spouse? Sorry, someone is driving an obnoxiously loud car down the road, so you probably hear that. I'm sorry if you do. I always think that is so unnecessary, like, oh my gosh, okay. Pile 6. Where and how are you meeting your future spouse? Where and how are you meeting your future spouse? Pile 6. Where and how are you meeting your future spouse? Oh my goodness, we have Temperance. This is probably my favorite Temperance card out of all the decks that I own. Oh, they're going back up the road now. Just go. Please leave. Just go. They don't live on my road. They're just randomly driving, I guess, because they didn't pick up anyone. Okay, so this is probably my favorite depiction of the Temperance card. I just have to tell you that. It's so beautiful. We'll get into it in a second. I want to get all the cards first. Oh my gosh. Temperance and the Star card. So you have Grace and the Stars. I also love that Temperance is called Grace in this deck. I just love that. Okay. We have 3 of Wands. I don't think this card has ever come out before for me in this deck. Okay. We have the 10 of Cups. Aren't you winning, pile 6? Or the 10 of C in this deck. We have the Sea Kitten. Oh, this is the Page of Cups. And let's get one. I lied, 2 more. We have the Moon and we have the 4 of Swords. Okay. Since you got an extra card, I'm not going to do the bottom of the deck for you guys. Okay. Let's see. There's something here that is very spiritual, like that is very divinely guided, because we have Temperance, Grace, we have the Star card, and we have the Moon. So there's something here about Spirit guiding you to together. There's something here, maybe a little bit of soulmate energy, but there's just something here about almost like a fated meeting, like you were meant to run into this person, and just sort of like against all odds. Like if you're at a concert, you're at a movie theater, or you are you know, some of the things that we got there, like you're at the gym, like there's a lot of people around, right? But yet you come into contact with this person, yet this person happens to be there at the exact same time that you are. There's just something there about this random encounter that feels really significant. And you can't help but feel like you were meant to meet this person. The universe put this person in your path. So I feel like right off the, like from the jump, I feel like there's this sense of maybe you're doubting it, maybe you're not quite sure, and maybe this person comes off as too good to be true with the moon card here. But there's also sort of this other side of you that just wants to leap into the unknown. Like, even though this water looks treacherous here, you know, and the only thing here is just this little path, you can still see one side has a rainbow and the other side is really rough, but you're willing to straddle that line. You're willing to walk this path, even though it may be difficult, because you know the rainbow is here. Like, you know there's a possibility for this 10 of Cups, for this pure happiness, this happy home life, this family, this home life that you've always wanted. If you want kids, like, this is confirmation that could be a possibility. Especially with the sea kitten, like, you could have a little Page of Cups. Maybe your first child is going to be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or you're just going to have a very loving, very open-hearted, very sweet-natured child. Again, like, only if you want kids. If you know for certain that you don't want children, then ignore that message. But I feel like there's something about your future spouse that makes you want to roll the dice and take a chance, even though maybe you do still have some fear, even though maybe you're kind of scared about putting your heart back out there again. You kind of want to go for it with them, especially with the Three of Fire here, the Three of Wands. Like, this is going to be a huge new start, a huge new chapter in your life with this person. They're going to shake up a lot of things, especially because I feel like you've been in this Four of Sky, this Four of Swords, like restful energy. Maybe not a lot has been going on in your life for some time. You've been resting. Literally, this cat is curled up in a field of lavender. So you've been really focused on maintaining your inner peace, not letting anyone bother you. You know, you've been staying in your own lane, minding your own business, really focusing on your rest and your self-care, and you haven't wanted to be bothered. And so maybe that's where some of that fear comes in of like, do I want to put myself in a situation where someone could disrupt my peace? Because I think your peace has become quite important to you. But obviously this is your future spouse, so you do end up taking that leap of faith, that risk. I also think with Grace here, maybe there's going to be a lot going on in your life when you meet this person. Maybe there's also some other new start, like maybe in your career or something else that's going on in your life that's causing a major transition and has already been kind of trying to nudge you out of this like Four of Swords restful energy. And so maybe you've been a bit hesitant, but I feel like maybe there's just a lot going on in your life, and so you're having to balance out a lot, this new connection, but also other changes that are going on in your life. Could be as well, because we got like gym and yoga and that kind of thing. Maybe you have been trying to get out of your comfort zone. Maybe you have like some health goals or something that you're wanting to meet, and so you're trying to balance that out. Like, you know, maybe you've been trying to make more of an effort to go out more while also like taking your time to rest and stay at home. Or maybe you have some like diet or fitness goals that you're working on. Maybe you're just sort of like assessing your life and seeing like where you need more balance, where maybe you've been too extreme, like maybe you're working too hard, maybe you're eating in a way that isn't making you happy, and so you want to make some changes and find more balance between like, you know, indulging and eating healthier, that sort of thing. Yeah. I think with temperance, like it's all about balance, right? Maybe you've been trying to balance socializing with spending time on your own. So if you're in kind of that mindset of like cleaning up your life, so to speak, that could be a signal, a clue that this person is going to be coming into your life soon. I think also with sea kitten, there's just a playfulness, definitely some flirtatiousness that's coming through, this lighthearted energy that's coming through. I feel like the dynamic between you two is very playful, very witty, maybe a lot of banter back and forth between you two. It's very comfortable energy as well. And then with the star card here, gives a sense of like manifestation, a wish granted, you know, like literally wishing on a star. And I feel like that definitely could be the case when this person comes in. It feels like a wish come true. I also think though, given the way it's depicted here, with the cat looking up at the constellation of the lion, I feel like you're at a place where you're transforming, sort of like a little Pokemon, like little Charmander evolves, I think, into like Charizard or something, and he goes through these different levels. I haven't looked at Pokemon since I was a kid, so you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sort of evolution, it's kind of like you're leveling up. You're going through a glow up in your life. You're going from the kitty cat, house cat to the lion. And that makes me think of Leo energy as well. The star card is Aquarius, but just given the cat with the lion here makes me think of Leo as well. So also, like Leo is very confident, and it's the opposite sign to Aquarius. Aquarius is also confident, but in like, I'm okay with being weird. I'm okay with being unique. I want to be my own individual. So they really like know themselves and they assert themselves. So they're both very confident energies, just in different ways. So I feel like your confidence is expanding in more than one way. And I feel like you're going through a glow up. You're going through a level up in your life as a result of this grace, this temperance card energy. And I feel like you're more connected with your intuition. And yeah, I think you're coming out of a period of hibernation when you meet your future spouse. Okay, I feel like we covered everything there. Let's get some more zodiac signs, significant houses, clues about the circumstances, the where and the how of you meeting your future spouse. I'm actually going to take a second to get a sip here of my drink. I've been talking all day at work, so I get paid to talk, so. Yeah, I feel better now. I feel like my voice has been restored. Okay, pile 6. Pile 6. And it's funny too, 6 is a card about, 6 is a card. 6 is a number of balance, right? 3 and 3. So I feel like that's an overarching theme here for your reading. Even with the 10 of Cups, like 5 and 5. Equal give and take. So they're definite. And even with the 3 here, I think of 2 becoming 3. So again, like if you were wanting a family with this person, you've got double confirmation there. And I also feel like there's just a lot of equal give and take, like 2 of Cups energy coming from this marriage as well. Okay, so pile 6. Where and how are you meeting your future spouse? Pile 6, where and how? Okay, bottom of the deck you have Jupiter. This is Sagittarius energy. This is expansion. There are a lot of rainbows in your reading. I feel like this is just going to be a very happy, healthy, long-lasting marriage, a marriage that's really built on emotional understanding and a willingness to compromise and, you know, see the value in another person's point of view. You know, like you don't have, it's just a very sweet and loving and supportive connection. It's not like you have all these arguments and you know, like disagreements. No one's being disrespectful, you know, none of that. I also just feel like, again, like, this makes me think of the Wheel of Fortune and fate with the dice, but kind of this idea of meeting this person by chance and like feeling very lucky to have met them, and feeling like fate has smiled down on you, feeling like this was your destiny, feeling like you know, like your wheel of fortune, like your fortune is changing, you know, and so much in your life is expanding during this time. Because again, I feel like this is like a full glow up. It's not just meeting your future spouse and feeling like your love life is going well. I feel like it's the full rainbow. Like, I feel like it's a full glow up of your life. Especially too because you got some significant houses here. Okay, you got the first house, the second house, and the sixth house. So I feel like a glow up in your self-confidence and your self-worth and your self-image. So you're probably feeling better about your body. You're probably feeling better about where you're at in life. You just feel more confident. That Aries energy, like you just take on more of a leadership role in your life. You take on a more active role in your life from this period of hibernation. So I feel like you're really coming into your own when you meet your future spouse. Your second house, I feel like your career is seeing a glow up as well. You're doing better with your material stability. So maybe you get a promotion, maybe you get a new job, maybe you just, I don't know, like improve your style. You feel better, because this is also like Taurus energy of like beauty and Venus and aesthetics. So maybe you go through like a little physical glow up and you feel better about your style. So something with that. Maybe you learn to budget better, you get your finances in order. Something about that. It literally says credit score here. So maybe your credit score is looking great when you meet your future spouse. But again, I feel like this is a glow up in so many different areas of your life, both externally and internally, you know, a full glow up, okay? And then we have the sixth house. This is Virgo. This is the house of like routine, our work life, our health, our wellness. So I feel like there's a glow up here, like you're doing more self-care. You feel better about your daily routine. You feel like you have good daily habits. So maybe you're eating better, you're working out, you are, you know, like I said, prioritizing that self-care, prioritizing your mental health. You know, you're really focused on like holistic wellness and how can my like daily rituals benefit me? How can they serve me? And so you have Virgo twice here, right? Sixth house in Virgo. So I feel like you just come across as like just very healthy, very detail oriented, a bit of a perfectionist, but just really sort of in that like Beyonce energy. I feel like this is like your glow up season, okay? So I do feel like this is your energy. I feel like this is how you're coming across to your future spouse, but this could be your future spouse if you don't identify with that energy. But this does seem like this is your vibe at the time that you meet your future spouse. This doesn't have to be any significant part of your birth chart. This is just your vibe, okay, at the time that you meet your future spouse, or how they perceive you. I also feel like they're perceiving you in this Cancer energy, but I also feel like they have this Cancer energy as well, because I feel like this is sort of the dynamic that exists between you, because like I said, deep emotional understanding with Cancer, that nurturing, maternal, I want to support you, I want to take care of you. They feel the same way about you. I feel like it's very mutual, very balanced energy between you two. Yeah, there's a lot of like tenderness, like a lot of understanding. Yeah, just this sense of like really focusing on family. Like you guys are gonna feel like family. Even if you don't have kids together, you and your future spouse are gonna treat each other like your family, you know? So there's a lot of trust there. There's a lot of support. There's this sort of like we're in it until the end kind of energy there. Which, I mean, not all marriages last, so that's good to see. Okay, let's get some months of the year for when this meeting could happen. So What are some potential months that pile 6 could be meeting their future spouse, please, Spirit? Pile 6, when are they meeting their future spouse? So we have May. So this could be May of this year or May of next year. Or any year, really. We've got June. We've got January. And then your bottom of the deck, we have October. So feel free to claim one of these. Feel free to claim all of them. If you're really drawn to, say, October and you don't know why, maybe that's your month. Okay, and let's find out who your future spouse is, pile 6. What do we need to know, please, Spirit, about who pile 6's future spouse is? Who are they? Okay. So they love coffee. That's funny. I don't think that one has come out in a really long time. And that's funny too, like, because we talked a lot about like daily routine. So I kind of wonder if like this person has a daily routine of like going and getting their coffee and then taking a walk around like a park that's across from their neighborhood, and like you run into them when they're walking their dog or something. Like that could be a thing. Okay, this person is on the thinner side. Okay, they could have a love language of touch. Okay, they're very kind. They're very clean and very neat. Okay, they love music. They could be a musician. That could be a hobby for them or a career. Maybe just a big passion of theirs. They love listening to music. Maybe you'll talk about like your playlist, like if you meet at the gym. Oh, that's funny. So for half of you, they could be messy and disorganized, or they could be clean and neat. You know, here's the thing, because this reminds me, I don't know why Beyonce, maybe all this Virgo energy, but I read somewhere, like, she's always so put together, right? I mean, she's a celebrity. You would think, especially with the amount of detail she brings to like her live performances and like her work ethic, like she's, you know, people say like Beyonce has 24 hours in the day, you know that saying. She has said that her home is so messy and disorganized because so much, everything else about her life has to be so controlled, and so she like doesn't care for her personal environment to be so controlled like that. Like she's okay with a bit of a mess. So maybe this person is like that, where like their hygiene is very neat and very clean and very tidy, but maybe they have like a disorganized home. Like they're really neat and put together in terms of their hygiene and their style and their clothing, but then you go to their house and it's a bit messy, it's a bit disorganized. Or could be that like they're very clean and neat at home, but they're very messy and disorganized with their work, because maybe they do something creative for work and maybe they have like a studio or like a workshop or a home office that's really messy and disorganized. So that could be a thing. Or maybe it's like half of you have a really clean and neat person and the other half of you have someone who's messy and disorganized. Just take what resonates. We have love language of words of affirmation. Oh, that's sweet. So physical touch and verbally, they'll tell you how they feel. I like that. And then they could have curly or textured hair. Okay, so like I said, some of those messages may resonate, some may not. Just take whatever does. Okay, I'm actually going to move these out of the way so they don't fly everywhere. We're going to end your reading with just a comfort message from Spirit. So comfort message from Spirit for pile 6 to end their reading, please. Comfort message for pile 6 from Spirit, please. Comfort message from pile 6's guides. Pile 6. Okay. That was really fast. Our Lady of Nourishment. I feel like there's been so much of your reading that has really emphasized the importance of focusing on your wellness and your health, like whatever that means to you. But it's almost like the universe really wants you to nourish and take care of yourself, like really give to yourself, really pay close attention to that daily routine that you have and see where you can make some improvements, because they want you to feel your best self. And like if you aren't getting enough sleep, if you're not eating a balanced diet, or you're eating foods that make you feel sleepy or drained or tired or just kind of yucky, or maybe you're not eating enough, maybe you're working too hard and you're not even stopping to take time for meals. There's just something about like your daily routine and those basic things of like taking care of yourself. Like they just really want you to nourish yourself, your physical body, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Just really focus on that nourishment, that taking care of yourself. Maybe you're someone who gives a lot to other people, and Spirit's just really saying like, we want you to extend that comfort to yourself. We want you to extend that caring nature to yourself. Okay, so pile 6, this was your reading. I hope this resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. Please take care, pile 6, and I will see you in my next one.